O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This is.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that, gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them, they like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do, they play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden, she's the girl right here. She's a badass, that's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. Cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go, so you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InnerMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Ready to rock and roll on the Big O Radio Show. And of course, it is all mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Yes, sir. Hope you all had a great weekend. I had a phenomenal weekend, actually. And, sports-wise, it was, I guess, up and down, right? The Heat winning, but Panthers are on the brink of getting eliminated. Marlins are playing very well, by the way. Inter Miami is not. So I guess there was good, there was bad, and then there was great because, of course, I got to go see Billy Idol at the House of Blues in Orlando on Saturday. That was fun. I love going to the House of Blues to go see a concert because it's such an intimate setting. And, I don't even know if 1,000 people fit in the House of Blues. And so I know Billy was here in South Florida earlier in the week, but he went to the Hard Rock, and, that's a bigger venue, and it's not as intimate as this is. And Steve Stevens wailed, man. He was absolutely awesome. A lot of fun. I posted a video, I think, there on our Instagram and our Twitter page, so you can check that out. Got all kinds of stuff going on. We got all kinds of guests for you today. Alan Poupart, we just pushed back for tomorrow. So Poupart will join us tomorrow instead of his normal slot today. Ira Winderman will stop by in just a couple of minutes, around 10:10. We're going to have Marcel Louis Jacques at 11 a.m. Then we will have Andy Behrens at noon. So we've got all of that going on. Several guests for you, all kinds of things to talk about. And don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important to smash the like button when you're downloading the podcast at any time, day or night. If you're watching on YouTube, a day, nights, weekends, you're watching a segment, hit that, smash it, man. In fact, when you get a chance, just go to our YouTube page where you're at right now and hit the like button on as many videos as you can, just for the hell of it. Telling you, just do that for the hell of it. And on as many videos as you can, we'd appreciate it immensely, because that gets the algorithms going and more people find out about the platform. It gets out there. So any of those rants or any of the shows or interviews or whatever, man, hit the hell out of that like button. Very, very, very important for it. Appreciate it all out there. I see Steve Chapman is in. He says, sorry, but the Panthers are no match for my Bruins. They weren't supposed to be a match anyways. The Panthers are the best, but thanks for the obvious, Steve. Brian Walters, hi, everyone. Big O and Sean. Marlins and Heat had good weekends. How was the Billy Idol concert? Just talked about it now. It was terrific. Although I still don't understand why he's still taking off his shirt. You know, he's got a dad bod now. You know, if you're cut up and you look great, bro, take off your shirt. You know what I mean? But Billy, I love you, brother. You still sound good. Can't hit the high ones like you used to, and I get it. Then, you know, you age. And Steve Stevens is just still a monster. But the one knock I will say, come on, man. Can't keep taking off the shirt, bro. Jamie Zorria is in the house all the way in San Jose. Thank you, Brian. Jonathan Cagle is in. Tuatam, Giovanni, Kyle Cockrell, Akaris, Nizzle, Tommy F15. Robert Jason says, late to the party. You are never late, sir. That's the beauty of, you know, on demand and digital. You can join us at any time, man. So it's all good. Good health to all. Let's go. Orlando, does CG move up? Maybe using said Wilson to get back a linebacker. Jack Campbell, he's a typical Bears Raiders type. No, I don't think he's moving up, and Cedric is not going to create anything for you to move up. Cedric's contract, if you're able to unload it, you're going to unload it for a 5th to 7th round pick. I don't even know if he can get a 5th round pick. I think he'll be fortunate to get a 6th or 7th rounder just to unload the salary. If he's able to trade it, we'll find out. So they'll have an extra 6th or extra 7th rounder, but it's not going to help you get into the 1st round or any of that stuff. So, Robert, don't even think about that. And they're not moving into the 1st round. That's just bullshit talk that they throw out there, and just to kind of keep it in general and say that they're all options are open and they're exercising everything and they're talking to everybody and yada, 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 yada. They're not moving up. Christopher Giovanelli, Omar Lopez, King Short, Nyborg, GP Trap, Isais, and Nyborg and GP Trap are reminding to hit that like button. Dang, Bitcoin dip. That's take advantage. Take advantage. It's a little dip. It's just small. Although it's moving back this morning. I saw it get back to close to 1,000. Let me see where we at. 27,622. So I've seen it up to 27,800. So it's nothing. It's a little dip. This is really healthy, actually, for Bitcoin. Super healthy. You don't want a straight up parabolic run, because that's just not sustainable. You want to go up and then find a floor and hang out a little bit and then go up. And you saw it tested 30, almost to 31, got to 30,960, 930, something like that. it's just one of those things that it's going to take off now, and it'll go past 31, and it'll go to 32 or 34, and then it'll hang around there for a little bit again. And this is good. This is really super healthy right now for crypto. So I'm not phased whatsoever. In fact, I am more bullish than ever. And if you haven't bought enough, which I don't think anybody can buy enough, I know I can't, you keep buying now, man. Keep buying. Keep buying. That's what I would do. And I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I would keep doing. I'd keep buying, baby. Manny Arias is in. Night in. Emilio says, Dímelo, mi gente. Orlando, Sean, and Fins Nation. Wonder if we will make any headlines in this year's draft. Greer, do you have any more tricks up your sleeve? Well, we will find out. We will find out, Emilio. Christian is in. Says, been a little bit big O. Right, oh, right. Thank you, sir. Who opened for Billy Idol? Some Australian band. I'll tell you something about this Australian band. I was not impressed with their music whatsoever. The lead singer, she has a voice, okay? She has talent. Not a very good front person. Her image on stage is not good. Didn't look presentable, but the young lady has a voice. I'll say that. Not a very good opening act. Did not really enjoy it. But I will say that girl has some talent. If somebody got her and maybe taught her how to present herself and then maybe get better musicians around and more creative music, maybe she's got a shot. But she's got a voice. I'll say that. I'll give her that. Outside of that, she ain't gonna make it. Let's see. Karen is in. Alex Toledo. So the Heat have a chance to prove they aren't frauds while the Panthers look to be frauds. There's no Giannis, bro. I mean, it has nothing to do with fraudulent or anything. There's no, what you know that Jimmy Butler is nothing but a stud. That's what you know. Outside of that, there's really nothing to look into this series. They're without Giannis, and without Giannis, they're not the same team. Miami actually has a chance without Giannis, and that's it. And they've taken advantage. That's all, but it has nothing to do with whether they're not frauds or, give me a break, dude. They're playing the team without the superstar. They've gotten the break of all breaks, and they've taken advantage, and they're winning 2-1. And I imagine that Giannis will play tonight because they can't go down 3-1. Even with Giannis, I don't even think they'll win 3 straight because now you're putting the weight of the world on the man for all of that. And that, I mean, not that they can't do it. They could, but it would be a much harder task to win 3 straight. So I would imagine that he's going to, do whatever it takes to play tonight. But let's not make it out to be more than what it really is. The Heat got an enormous break, and to their credit, they're taking advantage of it, and they've got a 2-1 lead. Outside of that, nothing else is that impressive. All right, let's get to some basketball talk with our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. We bring aboard Ira Winderman.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Good morning, Ira. How are you doing, sir?
Surprised that for a degree I'll be going back to Milwaukee on Wednesday, and that there'll be another playoff game beyond tonight at Kaseya Center, whether it's game 6 against the Bucks, dare I say game 3 against the Knicks. That's, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see Giannis being hurt coming. But still,
this whole thing changed with the Giannis injury. It changes the complexion of the entire.
And credit to the Heat, and they took advantage of it, just like last season against Philadelphia. Joel Embiid missed the first 2 games of the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Heat took advantage of it. I will say this, Big O, having listened to your crosstalk before our Acura Pembroke Pines report today, the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis probably are still as good as, say, the Cleveland Cavaliers as a 4 or 5 seed. So there still is a quality opponent that the Heat has competed with. Not the number 1 Bucks, not the ultimate top seed in the playoffs, but they still have shown in 2 victories against quality competition, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, solid core of players. They've played well. Give them credit. They've still have found a way. Same thing with the Panthers. The Panthers are playing a Bruins team without their top player so far. They haven't shown as much. So you have to give the Heat credit. They've taken advantage of the situation.
I wouldn't compare the two overall with the Panthers and the Heat, but yeah, it's just Giannis is an absolute game changer. He changes the complexion of everything because he's a superstar. He's just, he's only one of 4 or 5 players like that, in the entire league. So, and again, I give the Heat credit that they've won. They've taken advantage of this situation. Doesn't really mean that we're watching a team that's kind of solved their issues. I'll tell you this, the one thing that has been frustrating, and I put it out on Twitter, Pat Riley doesn't really get a lot of breaks. If you really look at it in the 20-something years that he's been here, right? I talked about this before the Shaq and Wade title. You had Howard, the trade reversed. You had Tim Hardaway breaking down multiple times with the Achilles injury, ending seasons for the Heat. You had Zoe's kidney issue, overall. And these are all these kind of, like, you trade for Dan Marley, he blows out his back. We never get to see Thunder Dan. We end up seeing 3-point Dan, after that. Credit to him. He changes his body and he changes his game and all that. But, Riley traded for Thunder Dan. We never got Thunder Dan here. And then finally you get your title. And then now the next go around, it's the Chris Bosh blood clots. It's Bam and Dragon getting injured in the bubble. It's Tyler and Lowry last year. It's now Oladipo and Tyler this year. It's like, dude, in the 25 years, if you look at it, Jesus Christ, there are so many things that have gone on with this organization and setbacks. And it's just like, it's really frustrating. And I commend them because, they fight through all these adversities. And, we could also talk about some of the bad decisions that have gone on too, which then compound all of that. But they've had a lot of bad breaks in the quarter century that Riley has been here.
Yeah, but you know what, again, when you talk about a quarter century, just like any family, an extended family, things happen to all teams along the way because we follow this team so close for so long. You could also look at that when they get players. They got an older Tim Hardaway. They knew he had knee issues. It was bone on bone with no cartilage in there. That's going to happen. They got Dan Marley way past his Thunder Dan era with the Suns. He was an older player. Remember, they signed him when the Juwan Howard thing was reversed back to Washington at the time. So it's when you get players. Kyle Lowry last year, hey, he was 36 last year. An older player, that can happen. Victor Oladipo, look, it is not shocking that Victor Oladipo has an injury. It's the other knee. God bless Vic, Godspeed to him. But it's not like it's completely heretofore unseen. You spoke to me on Friday's Acura Pembroke Pines report how, unfortunately, Tyler Hero can be prone to these types of injuries. We're seeing it again. So it's sort of what you start working with, that lump of clay, there's going to be imperfections. The Thunderbolts you mentioned, Alonzo's kidney, no one saw that coming. Alonzo didn't know he had kidney illness. Chris Bosh, blood clots, no one saw that coming. Chris Bosh didn't know he had blood clots. Those kinds of things that come out of the blue can absolutely destroy the progress.
Bam and Goran in the bubble.
But again, injuries happen. We've seen in the playoffs. I mentioned Joel Embiid. We see every year players, Kawhi Leonard now with the knee, Paul George being out for the Clippers. They were a conference favorite at one point. Those things happen along the way. When you don't have the depth of talent, and I wrote this at the Sun Sentinel now you're down Tyler Hero. Now you're down Victor Oladipo. Basically, you have 2 ball-handling guards left in Gabe Vincent and a 37-year-old Kyle Lowry. So when you have the kind of depth of talent where you're carrying a Udonis Haslem, where you're hoping for a Haywood Highsmith and a bunch of other undrafted guys, Omar Yurtseven, guys like that, you have an imbalanced roster, you wind up in trouble also. If you have a perfectly managed roster, you can overcome some of this. But who really has a perfectly managed roster? So yes, when you lose your number one shooting guard, when you lose your number two shooting guard, you're kind of screwed. Just like the Bucks, when you lose your superstar, power forward, MVP, top 3 candidate, that's what happens.
Wow. All right. So the Oladipo thing, what's
I would say tragic because he has a lot of money. He's had a good career. He's got to play pro basketball. But, I mean, that's one of those non-contact injuries you see and you say that's not good. We're talking months that it's going to take to recover. Remember, he has a $9 million, $9.5 million player option for next season. He could use the stretch payment to have to pay him off over 3 years, get off of some of that money. They can apply to the NBA for a disabled player exception and get it, but they're so far over the tax, they probably can't use it anyway. So you move on. Look, Victor Oladipo was never a critical component. When you and I sat down on our first Acura Pembroke Pines reports before the playoffs, I don't think you and I had Vic Oladipo in our top 8 or 9 players who were difference makers. The difference is then Tyler Hero went out and Victor became a more important component. Yeah, they're kind of screwed. They don't have a lot of guards. So the logical, easy answer is this, Orlando Alzagari, is play Jimmy Moore as a ball handler. Big O, how much can you add to the guy's plate? You're asking him to score every time, defend the other team's best players, get some rebounds, play major minutes. There's so much you could pile on the guy where eventually he's going to say, Uncle, he is doing everything he can. Matter of fact, if you would have an MVP of the playoffs, not just the finals, but of the playoffs, you can make an argument that Jimmy Butler has been as good as any player this postseason so far.
You know, the postseason's 3 games.
Hey, the postseason's 2 weeks. I'm just saying, going into this and what you've seen so far,
All of you are either writing or talking about, well, Duncan Robinson is the best 3-point shooter in the NBA.
No, that was one game. That was one. This is a guy over 3 games who has sustained and done what he did. And also, we know playoff Jimmy, and he does get activated, and he is a different player.
Playoff Jimmy's a badass, period, no matter what.
Correct.
That has nothing to do with it. But, you know, it's just kind of funny, the whole Duncan Robinson. Well, he's the best 3-point shooter in the NBA or playoffs right now.
Not going there.
We played 3 games. Relax. So, and by the way, most of his stats come from the last game and a half, right? Not really.
Yeah, and the fourth quarter was meaningless of game 2 in Milwaukee. He had 14 points. You were playing the G League Bucks. Yeah, you were playing the G League Bucks. You were playing the Wisconsin Herd in that. Last game was meaningful. He got the Bucks to take notice. Now we see, as we've asked all season, Big O, can he sustain?
Right, exactly. It's just, please, don't tell me that he's the number 1 3-point shooter in the NBA. We're getting a little crazy here, you know, overall. All right, so what happens tonight? Giannis plays, right? I mean, I
assume Giannis plays. He went through a fairly grueling individual workout. He had an assistant coach leaning on his back. He was doing entry passes and spin moves in the post. So I think he does because, look, his entire season is almost riding on this game. You go down 3-1. The Miami Heat then have 3 puncher's chances to get 1 win, and everything changes. I fully expect him out there unless the injury is simply more serious that he can't sustain the pain and has a pain tolerance issue. We'll see on that. I would expect him out there. If you're asking percentages, I'd say at least 75% that he plays tonight.
I think 100% he plays tonight because he knows that team can get easily eliminated if they lose tonight. They go down 3-1, kind of like what we're seeing with the Panthers and the Bruins.
Big O, we also
hard to have any hope down 3-1 almost in any situation.
We have to see what he looks like. Again, Milwaukee was very good without him in game 2. And if he's limited and not ambulatory, and he's not the one-man defender, it could hurt the Bucks also. So all eyes will be on Giannis when he goes out for that opening tip. Is he fully mobile? Again, in game 1, he was injured, stayed on the court, and then realized, hey, I'm not myself. I'm hurting my team. So this won't just be a if Giannis plays. This will be how much Giannis plays, how well Giannis plays.
Now, by the way, all Heat eyes will be on Jimmy, too, to see how, mobile and
Yes.
agile Jimmy is too after his fall,
Again,
because
Jimmy is listed
that
as
shit's looking
questionable,
to
the
get
same
hurt,
listing
bro.
as Giannis. Yeah, they're both listed as questionable tonight. So you have to wait and see. But we know Jimmy Butler's an MFer. You know, he had his day off. He's going to come out here. You're right. If Jimmy is not fully mobile, the Heat are in big, big, big trouble, because you're already down Tyler. You're already down Vic, and now you'd be down Jimmy also. So, yeah, the injury report will be fluid and interesting as we go through the day.
How do we measure Bam?
It's funny. Someone from my newspaper asked me this today, and I said, what Bam is showing is what a lot of people, including Big O, have mentioned.
Super role player.
He's not playing like a playoff number two. He's not supporting Jimmy Butler the way a number two would support him. I think he's supporting him like a number three. And so right now, Jimmy doesn't have that 1-in-1A guy next to him.
No Robin.
And Tyler has never fully been that, because he's a little bit erratic. He's been up and down. He's not a defender. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if Bam steps up his game, or, again, you know what, whether it's our Acura Pembroke Pines report or RedRecover.com Inside the Paint on Wednesdays, that's why you mentioned the Lillards. That's why you mentioned the Bradley Beals, because right now Jimmy Butler deserves a little bit more than what he's getting from his secondary component.
Ira, what is it about the Bams and the Barkovs? You know, it's that nice guy syndrome, right? But then we've covered the Wades and the PJ Browns. Super fucking nice guys also.
Right.
But there's no nicer guy in the world than PJ Brown. There's no classier guy in the world than PJ Brown. Now, when he gets on the court,
he's an MFer.
He's going to cut your fucking heart out. Just like Dwayne Wade, with his little baby face and his smile and his all-American boy looks and all that. But then when he gets on the court, he wants to cut your effing heart out. And when I look at Barkov and I look at Bam, I look at two really nice guys. And then when I look at them on the court or the ice, once again, I continue to look at really nice guys. And there's a difference. And I just gave you the example. You can compartmentalize. You can be two different people. You can be a completely decent human being, nice off the court and or off the ice. And then when you get on the ice, you're a different person. What is it about Barkov and Bam that they don't have and bring that edge or find it somewhere? You know, they can just flash you the amazing talents that they have, but they will not impose their talents on you constantly.
I would look at Bam a little different. I think your PJ Brown example is very good for this reason. Bam is being asked to sort of David against Samson the entire time, pushing that rock up the hill. He is undersized for his position. He just is. He goes in at a size deficit and a weight deficit. PJ Brown had Alonzo Mourning, that MFer alongside of him in the starting lineup.
Undersized in a real center league.
He is, when you look at Bam Adebayo, when he goes against a Brook Lopez or bigger centers, this is sort of what we've seen, not just this year, but for years. He's playing an undersized position, so he's trying the floaters. He's trying the finesse game. Look, there's an ongoing debate. You see it, you read it. Is Bam a center? Is he a power forward? Doesn't really matter what he is. It's what the Heat need him to be because of how their roster is built. That's why we thought maybe he'd play with Yurtsevic.
Is he a bad mofo or is he not? And then I
think he could be in your words, a bad mofo with power forward, because some of the Bam Adebayo's best basketball, do you know when it was, Big O? When he played alongside Kelly Olynyk and Myers Leonard, including the great block on Jason Tatum in the bubble in the playoffs. When he played alongside a 7-footer who could present that size and box out and open up the middle for him a little bit more. So Bam is being asked to go above and beyond his pedigree as far as size. That's his second battle. You might be right. You might be right about the intensity.
Hold on a second. Here's where I completely disagree with you. This is not a center league anymore. There aren't a lot of centers anymore. He's not undersized every single night.
But he is in this series.
In this series, but he's
rarely Joel Embiid.
He's rarely undersized in this league. Alonzo Mourning was undersized nearly every single night, but he had that dog in him that at 6'9", he could block a 7-footer, a 7'1".
He also had those muscles in him. He was built different than Bam. Bam has a nice physique. Alonzo Mourning could have gone to a He-Man competition. That's the difference.
Alonzo Mourning also was a junkyard dog. Okay, besides that, at 6'9", he had to be a junkyard dog to face David Robinson and Akeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal and Patrick Ewing and Mark Eaton and whatever the hell else he faced throughout his damn career, that he faced a whole bunch of huge human beings. But he always, this is why this guy was practicing with the Olympic team coming out of high school, going to Georgetown. He was practicing with the Olympic team because Alonzo Mourning was a junkyard dog. I don't see that out of Bam or Barkov. I don't see the son of a bitch in them.
Because
that's what I think and maybe, you know what? Maybe Barkov and Bam can't find that because it's not who they are. You know who I compared Bam to? Jamal Mashburn.
No, I just think it's different. Jamal Mashburn was a small forward. It's a different position.
But Jamal Mashburn was a small forward, and this guy's either power forward or a center, whatever you want to look at him. But they're both supreme athletes and super talented. But they were both really nice guys, really decent human beings, and neither guy was an MFer. And that's what stopped Mashburn from actually being and passing the ball off to Weatherspoon, because he wasn't an MFer. And Bam, too. Bam's good to be a facilitator, a guy that, sets up the picks, all that kind of stuff, get the rebound, a block shot. But it's not like he's demanding to be the star. And to me, that's my problem with Bam. He has the Jamal Mashburn thing in him that he just doesn't bring that edge.
That, to me, is a physique and build more than a mentality. Alexander Barkov's best skills are as a finesse player. They just are. He's not Keith Kachuk. He plays a different game. Bam Adebayo's best skill set is as a perimeter player. Remember, Alonzo, and I don't mean to demean, Alonzo Mourning was mostly an incompetent scorer outside of the paint. He had that little jumper from the foul line. You play to your strengths.
In the 90s. That was his game, and that was fine in the 90s.
You play to your strength. Bam Adebayo is playing to his strength. He's not a shot blocker. He's a switcher. He's a team defender. That's what he does. I don't think you can change someone like that. I don't think you can make Alexander Barkov a power forward. I don't think you can make Bam Adebayo a center. I don't think you can make either guy a son of a bitch. That's my problem. I don't think you have to be a son of a bitch.
Another two more examples.
Sure.
Okay. Zoe, undersized, son of a bitch. Tayshaun Prince, when he came out of school, that dude proved me wrong, because I looked at his skinny ass and I said, oh my God, this guy's going to get railroaded in this league. And you know what? Tayshaun Prince ended up having a pretty damn good career, and he proved to be a son of a bitch because he was a tough, skinny dude. Dennis Rodman comes into this league as undersized as it gets, the greatest rebounder I have ever seen in my life over anybody that's 6 inches taller than him. Either you got the edge or you don't. Either you're Theo Fleury and you're 5'2", and you're going to skate your ass off, and you're going to be a badass, and you're going to do your job, and you're going to be one of the best. You're going to overcome your size. Some guys either have it, no matter what size they are, Allen Iverson, whatever. To me, that dog is missing.
Which is the better shot? A feathery floater in the lane that goes in, or being an MFer going hard to the rim, leaning back, smashing and getting blocked by Brook Lopez? Which is the better shot?
Use your athleticism to get past Brook Lopez and slam on his ass.
He's still 7'9". He's still there. He still has the reach. So I think you play to your skills at the moment. Again, against a Lopez, against an Embiid, against guys like that, yes, Bam has come up short. Against other guys in other matchups, he's been just fine. It's just a matter of you're asking him to be more than he physically is. So you have to have your tempered expectations because of that.
All right, who's Robin tonight?
Yeah, well, again, there's not a lot of choices without Tyler. Again, I think the Robin could be the three-point shooters, whether it's Duncan again, whether it's Max Strus, whether it's Gabe Vincent. You're going to have that inside-outside angle. I do agree. I am not denying for you. Bam Adebayo has to be better in this series. I know we got a double-double last game. It was not good enough. in a game if Giannis comes back and plays. So I would say, number one, Bam Adebayo has to be a better number two. And number two, the three-point shooters have to make their shots. Giannis changes the complexion, looks like 2-2 going back to Milwaukee. But you know what? The Heat have shocked us in moments all season. Maybe they shock us again. First, I want to see what Giannis looks like.
Win the rebounding war today. Big time. Make sure you don't give them second shots and things like that.
Absolutely.
Don't let them
and you know what? And again, that's a perfect comparison to your hockey comparison. Just like Bob, make sure you don't give up juicy rebounds like he did last night for the Panthers. Yes, you can't work your ass off on defense in basketball or in hockey and then have the other team get the rebound and get to start all over again. I agree with that.
That Bob and the Ekblad contracts. Oof, wow. Holy moly. Poor Ekblad, man. That guy just could never hold up, man. He's got a gift. The Lord gave him a gift, unfortunately, but man, he has been so unreliable.
Yeah, Bob and Ekblad sort of equal, Lowry and Robinson, and you get hamstrung in salary cap leagues because of that.
Yeah, big time. All right, what do you got going on the Sun Sentinel leading up to the game?
Had a nice conversation with Cody Martin, Caleb Martin's brother, after the game the other day. He's in town watching. And I said, man, your brother, when he gets that look in his eyes and gets hypnotized, he's a crazy man. And he told me back when they were playing at Oak Hill Academy in Virginia, the coach there called both of them psycho because of the way they went on the court and they played all out. We've seen Caleb Martin for years. We know how Cody Martin plays. The Heat need that. The Heat need a little bit more psycho tonight. Caleb Martin was very, very good in Game 3. I wrote about it. That's at sunsentinel.com right now.
Oak Hill Academy. Didn't Zoe go there too?
Zoe was, I believe that's where Zoe went also before he went to Georgetown. Yes, you caught me off guard, but I believe so.
And the ultimate high school free agent in the history of time, Stephen Blake, also went to it. Stephen Blake was the best. Stephen Blake was a kid that was supposed to go to Killian, but went to Miami Lakes, then went to Miami High and won the title there, and then went to Oak Hill Academy
and built a career for himself. God bless him.
Hell of a career, but he was the ultimate high school free agent before anybody else, man. That guy mastered it and played in 3 awesome basketball programs. But meanwhile, Schaefer, who, by the way, lost the job to Shaky in Miami High because, God, what was the name of the coach before Shaky? Because those 2 guys were assistants to the Miami, who's a great high school coach. And
Cesar Odio, you thinking of?
No. Odio came after. I got to remember the name. But anyway, so he decides Shaky over Schaefer. Schaefer goes to, no, wait a minute. It is Schaefer. Who's the guy that went to Killian? He was pissed always at Miami High and Shaky. And then he was also pissed that Stephen Blake didn't go to his school. He ended up going to Miami Lakes. That was a big thing back in the day. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Ira, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, thank you for the time. We will catch up later on in the week.
Wednesday, 9 a.m. or 8 for me back in Milwaukee. Same hotel room for RedRecover.com Inside the Paint with Kurt Heelan. We'll have a better sense of whether this is a 2-2 series or whether the Heat truly have something special brewing. Talk to you all on Wednesday. Thanks, Big O.
There you go. Beautiful curtains in that hotel. That is your Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in. Oh, man. Let me see something here. I need to find. I'm trying to remember the whole. It was a while ago now. This is a long time ago. To remember all the coaches, was it Kaufman? Schaefer was the big. Schaefer was. That's it. Schaefer was the legendary coach for Miami High. And then Kaufman and Shaky were his assistants. He gave the job to Shaky. Kaufman then went to Killian. There you go. And then Kaufman, for the rest of his life, was super bitter about not getting the Miami High job. And then Shaky, rest in peace, obviously had his run. I would imagine Mr. Kaufman may not be with us also. I'm not sure. That's how it was. That's how it was. Now I got it. Right. There you go. Pep says Kaufman, Killian. Exactly. Now I got it. Schaefer was the guy, because Schaefer was like one of the greatest high school basketball coaches in the state of Florida. So yeah, I remember that. There you go. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about at all. Hell, when I'm explaining, we talk about the Heat, right? And they're going through this really rough stretch. Now they're up 2-1 now, right? And one of the things that I've admired about the Pat Riley run, and I talked a little bit about it with Ira, is look at what's gone on lately. Since the Big Three, we had the Chris Bosh blood clots that set the team back for a couple of years, right? You get to the bubble and you have a great run, and in the finals, Bam and Goran get injured. Last year, Hero and Lowry went out with an injury, and whatever, Lowry's kind of a waste, but whatever. And now this year, Hero and Oladipo get injured. Lowry's been kind of limited to at times. And then, the Jimmy injury, we don't know if it's going to hurt it. We'll find out tonight, obviously, because by the time Jimmy got injured, that game was, that game was done already at that point. And then before you got the Wade and Shaq title in 2006, Riley, even though it became a blessing in disguise after the fact, but the NBA voids the Juwan Howard deal, so he suffers a setback there. They trade for Dan Marley. I disagree with Ira, but I'm not going to get into arguing with him about every point. But he said, like, oh, it was an overhill Dan. That's bullshit. Dan was in his prime at that time. You still were going to get Thunder Dan, and you were going to get a pretty damn good Dan Marley, but he ends up blowing out his back. So that causes a problem. You never get the Thunder Dan. And then there were several times down the stretch, at least twice, maybe three. I think it's twice. Tim Hardaway blows out his Achilles and ends the run for the Heat. And then you have your team gets loaded. You add Eddie Jones and Brian Grant to your bench. This was like a super deep-ass team. Like Brian Grant and Eddie Jones were like players number 9 and 10 on the roster at that moment. And Zoe goes down with the kidney ailment and changes the complexion of everything. They had a whole bunch of bad luck before the Shaq and Wade title. And it was just and it was frustrating, dude, because Riley was right there. And those teams were really good. And I know we were dealing with Michael Jordan and everything, but it would have been fun to see that team with no Zoe, Zoe coming off of the Olympics, the gold medal, and then he suffers a kidney ailment. My God, if there's no kidney ailment, that Heat team was loaded, dude. Like loaded to the gills, brother. That was one of the deepest Heat teams I have ever seen in my life. And then Zoe goes down with the kidney ailment and changes everything. And this is just one of those things that you see that in the 25 years, they've gone through stretches of just terrible luck, dude. And then the other night, you watch Depot go down and you feel terrible for Oladipo. And, I know it wasn't a good signing from, we've already known that it wasn't a good signing, that Oladipo hasn't been able to ever recapture the player that he used to be and played at that level on a night in and night out basis. So we knew that it was going to be a bad deal, but damn, dude, poor guy suffers another knee injury or patella injury on this one. That's just terrible, man. You don't want to see that. You'd almost rather, okay, it's a bad deal. Next year, find a way to get out of it or cut them and break it down over a couple of years. You know how you can do that or whatever. This sucks, dude. You feel bad for the guy. So that way, at least he could go on and go try to make a career somewhere else. Now he's got a whole nother year of rehab. And now you've got 2 bad knees. And you've never been able to, he's a minimum salary player from here on out for the rest of his career. He'll be playing off the bench for the rest of his career. He'll never be a frontline player again because everybody will know you cannot rely on Victor Oladipo. But that was gross the other night. When I saw that, I just my heart fell down in my stomach. I felt like shit. I felt terrible for the man. Like obviously I want the Heat to be able to unload some of these salaries and move on, but you don't want to see people get injured, man. And plus that poor dude has been through so many injuries for the last 4 years. He lost who he used to be. He can't get it back. That's got to be the most frustrating thing. Listen, most of you go do a job that you don't really give a shit about because that's normal. Most people hate the job that they work in. Okay, but the few of you that actually do what you love and then that gets taken away, that's devastating. That's devastating. It just is. Because it's really hard. Most of us really don't ever work or have the kind of careers that we all would really love. You know what I mean? Most people work in a job that they don't really care about. They do it because they got to survive and all that, and they make the best of it. But in their minds, there was always something else that they'd rather do. Like that would have been their ultimate job, right? It's normal that most of us don't end up with a job that we really enjoy. Maybe we get by, we tolerate it, we deal with it. Maybe we think it's all right or something. But very few people go to work and say, I love my job. I can't wait to do my job, right? That's hard to find. But when you do have it, like some of these athletes, and then they take it, it gets taken away from you. You're Linda Ronstadt, and you can't sing anymore because of your health condition. That kind of stuff happens. You're Ozzy Osbourne. You have a terrible fall, and it takes away from what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. That's got to be absolutely devastating mentally. And where is Oladipo now, having to fight through all of this? Yeah, I know he's got some money in the bank and he'll be fine, but the money in the bank does not replace the love of playing that game that he loves to do. Can't replace it. Can't replace having a 25-point outing with 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals, and you win the game, and the crowd is going crazy, and they're commending you, and you're the player of the game, and all that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that Oladipo can never ever get anywhere else. So no matter what money he has, he's not going to be nearly as happy because he never got to complete his career. He flashed early on what he could be, but never got to even build on that to try to become even better. Sucks. I feel for Victor Oladipo in a big time way. Those Miami High Carroll City games were the best when Shaky was coaching. Douglas Edwards gave Carroll City fits when they played. They were 2 great teams. Yep. Aaron McKee was with Carroll City back in those days. It was a nasty injury. Did he hurt the knee on the fall, or did it happen before? It looks like it happened before it went down on that cut. And then, because he was kind of breaking his fall to not land on that knee. Josh Miller, you're too nice, sir. Big O has the best show in America. That's very, very kind of you. Acura says, I'm a proud corporate time-stealing weasel listening to the Big O show. Thank you, sir. You are a kick-ass time-stealing weasel. Thank you, Alex. Brandon says, back to the job today, off vacation. Nyborg says, my senior year of high school, we played one of Shaky's early Miami High teams. They beat us like a drum. Yeah, well, they were loaded in those days, bro. This sounds like a sad story. It is. The Victor Oladipo story is just a terribly sad story because that's a young man that is going to sit back and be pissed off that he never maximized his career because of things that he couldn't control, like the injuries. It's going to be frustrating because Victor could have been a lot more, and he knows it. Rob Abbots says, good morning from Oregon. Watched Herbert since high school. Tua is the right guy. Rose puts too much emphasis on height and arm. Tua's a much taller in his game. You talk about my man Joe Rose? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind Joe Rose is an arm queen. Yes. He is well, one of the things with Joe that, nothing but love for Joe. But I think one of the things why he sometimes goes awry in some of his sports analogies is because the fan in him takes over too much. And so, yes, he falls in love with the physical traits like a lot of you. You just think because he's got an arm and because he's got athleticism. And we know that Justin Herbert has oodles of that, dude. He is, brother, if you wanted to design physically the perfect quarterback, it's Justin Herbert. End of story. Perfect size, perfect height, perfect arm, perfect athleticism, all of that. That doesn't make you a great quarterback. That's all. But that's fine. And yeah, he does. But like a lot of you out there, you're a bunch of arm queens. But that's all right. Lots of guys were physically way better than Montana. Way better than Montana. Didn't mean they were better quarterbacks than Montana. So, yeah. That's the problem. But hey, time will answer all. Chris Trevez, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, W or L? I can't see what people see in Bam. He's a great role player to me. Exactly. Chris, I've called him a super role player for the last 2 years. He's exactly that. The Miami Heat gave a max contract to a super role player. And that was a terrible move on their part. Okay. Ohio John says, Big O, has there been a concert that was so bad you swore you'd never pay to see them again? White Snake, the last time I saw him, because David Coverdale couldn't sing anymore. And I know now he's retiring. So he retired a couple years after I said I wouldn't go see him anymore. And I love White Snake. I've seen him several times in the past, and they were always good. And Coverdale, to his credit, he always has great musicians with him too. So that's the other thing that I've always enjoyed about Whitesnake, that they've always had solid musicians and he's always had several guitarists. Give him a lot of credit. Like Ozzy, that Ozzy has had some of the best guitarists ever. So the last time I went to see a Whitesnake concert was the last time I went to see Whitesnake, which was like 5-6 years ago. And I said, yeah, I'm never going to go see him again. I didn't enjoy Lionel Richie the last time I went to see him. He talked most of the songs. He did not sing. And you can always tell when a guy's losing his voice or a woman's losing his voice and they're stealing money. They want to get the audience involved in all their songs now. And they want them singing the chorus and singing all this and filling in so they don't have to sing nearly as much. So I was really disappointed with Lionel Richie the last time I saw him. And I've seen Lionel in the past, and he was phenomenal, but I think his voice is kind of toast. It wasn't a bad concert, but his voice wasn't there anymore. I'm trying to think of just like a terrible concert of a band, like what you're describing. I remember a terrible, terrible concert that I had to walk out on. Oh my God. Yes. I went to go see it was like a group of former singers, right? One from Toto, Steve Algary, who can kind of sing still, although 60-year-old men should not be wearing skinny jeans. There was like four guys there, and only one of them, the guy that was doing Yes, he's the only one guy that could sing. The rest of them were terrible, and I had to walk out. I forgot the name of the guy that was from Toto that was there. You could tell like that guy's voice was toast. It was like not for nothing, but buddy, you probably were hitting the cocaine a little too much there. Bobby something or whatever. Oh my God, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. Simon Cooper says, I always hit the like button the moment I click on YouTube to watch your show. Great work. God bless you, brother. Thank you, Simon. That's very nice of you. Bob did what Bob does. 6-goal average. Tommy and Hiley. Yeah, Bob is. Yeah, it's that and Ekblad are, the Ekblad contract has become a disgrace. Ekblad can't stay healthy. He's absolutely unreliable. You can't trade him. Bob and Ekblad, you can't trade. You're like stuck with them too. That's the other thing. My God. Fishing Law says, hit the button all the time on rants. Used to be the best part of driving to court in the morning, listening to WQAM. Well, thank you, Fishing Laws. Thank you very much. Big O, your preseason prediction. Who do you think excels more in Vic's defense, Jerome Baker or Brandon Jones? It's a great question. I'm going to go Brandon Jones. Johnny Rotten says, morning, Big O from North Carolina. What do you think of our tough Miami schedule this year? I don't play the schedule game. Miami wins the division. They make a run in the playoffs. So I don't know what I don't care about the schedule. Miami's going to be one of the best teams in the league. The Dolphins are winning the AFC East. Okay. All right. Dolphins are winning the AFC East. They're going to kick some serious freaking ass like EJD Construction does. And for those of you out there, you're dealing with all that water damage, and you called, Welton Rayom, and they're crushing the insurance companies, and then they're going to get you the money that you deserve so you can rebuild. Well, you call Welton Rayom, Broward County, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. You need your house remediated. You need to rebuild that home, add an addition, whatever it is. You call EJD Construction, Dade or Broward Counties, 305-433-4843. Shell Construction in-house. That's how they keep the cost down. They've got a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, folks. They've been at this for well over 20 years now. Go to the Instagram page at EJD Construction. You can see a lot of their work. They do exceptional work. I've seen it firsthand. They've done several jobs for us. They've done it for some of the businesses that I've been a part of, and here in my house, rebuilding our wall and everything else, so they can do it for you. 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com. Yes.
Giannis Shams is reporting Giannis will play tonight in Game 4.
Of course.
So
he has to play, bro. Yeah.
He said barring any setbacks in shoot-arounds. So
yeah, he's playing, bro. He has to play. He has to play. They can't go down 3-1. So, yeah. Big ups, Big O from Stubby Oaks, North Carolina. Thank you, King Short. Appreciate you, man. Cue the Meow Mix song. Meow, 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 meow. Morning, O. Did Billy Idol perform Eyes Without a Face? Got no human grace. Your eyes without a face. Yes, they did. He always performs Eyes Without a Face. Let's see. Robert Jason, George Coelho. Simon Cooper says, Big O from Little Rhode Island. There we go. I got cousins in Deer Park, Rhode Island. Brandon Flood says, Big O, the Midnight is coming in October. I highly recommend you check them out. The Midnight. Okay. All right. What kind of music is the Midnight? Dougie Fresh is in. I see Cidola there, John Padilla, Mel Piper, Lisa Rose in, Papa in, Alexis is in, Sean Hoare. He said whore. Let's see what else do we have here. Pep is in. Ohio John. Big O loves his job even after going through all the corporate BS over the years. Yes. That's the only reason why I stayed in this business is because I love it. You are correct, sir. And we do this. It's because we love it, right? Because we got to go through a lot. NorCal says, I'll be extremely happy with 12, 13 Finns wins and a couple playoff games. If they win 14 plus, nobody will want to be around me. They're going to kick ass this year, bro. And NorCal, just like Lisa does, certain groups of you, okay? Tommy and Hialeah's watching. Yeah, certain people that I know have been watching and following my show for 10, 15, 20 plus years. My track record. Over the last 20 years, I really haven't believed much at all in the Dolphins. At all. Like, people would get tired that I was so negative about the Dolphins because they constantly sucked. And I'm not afraid to tell you when they're going to suck. And they're not that good, or the quarterback is terrible, or the front office is horrible, or the coach can't find a staff or can't coach or whatever. And people, there are Dolphin fans that would get frustrated with me because they want some positive, and I wouldn't give it to them. And now I'm being criticized because I've been too positive the last couple of years. Because I see this is different than what we've seen the last 20. And you will experience it. So, I want to see the Crew, but sadly, I think I've missed. Oh, dude, Cars, do not go see Motley Crue, bro. That's a terrible investment. No. Go back to YouTube. Go watch the Us Festival performance. Put in Motley Crue Live 1988, 1990, 1995, 93, whatever, and watch those performances. Do not ever go see the Crew live. Okay? Vince Neil can't sing. Tommy Lee's lazy already at this point. Mick Mars is no longer part of the band. It's a disgrace. It's stealing money. Okay? Motley Crue, that's a band that I will not go see anymore. I will not go see it. They're playing their CDs, dude. They're not even really singing. It's bad, brother. And they're stealing money left and right. Yeah. That is a bad investment. All right, 1 hour down. Hour number 2 is next. We start with Marcel Louis Jacques. Yes, sir, from ESPN. We are ready to rock and roll. Marcel, I think, is ready with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
When When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There he is, locked and loaded. Good morning, sir. How are you doing on this beautiful Monday?
Good morning. Doing well. Getting ready to head back to Miami for draft week. All 4 picks that we're covering this weekend, but 4 incredibly important picks, 4 resounding, draft-defining picks. The Dolphins
at least second and third rounders could be.
I hope they trade all of them to move up and then make one pick and call it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's a perfect draft weekend for us.
For you. So that way your day's over and you're done for the rest of the week. So that would be actually fantastic for you. But with the good fortunes that they've had in the second round, that's one that you got to really look forward to if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, because they hit on second round picks, dude. So
they do. Raekwon Davis, Javon Holland. How
about Raekwon yet? X-Man is, but yeah.
Davian Howard. I'm just naming they have several impact players. Yeah. They have several impact players they've selected in the second round. Rob Hunt? Was Rob Hunt second or third round?
Second. You're right.
Second round.
And it wasn't his fault, but Gesicki easily in a pass happy offense would have been a successful second.
Could have been a 1,000-yard receiver for sure.
Yeah.
In the right offense.
Yeah, right offense that somebody
might end up doing it this year, to be honest.
Yes, because they will throw a lot. He's a conservative quarterback. He doesn't really take a lot of chances if you really look at it. So he's going to throw a lot to the backs and the tight ends. Gesicki will get a lot of play in that offense. They're a very tight end friendly offense, always have been.
Yeah, I think the multi-tight end system, like if they're trying to get back to the Hernandez Gronk days, I think it's a little antiquated now in 2023. I think you've got to have receivers who can make a difference on the outside. They got rid of Jacoby Myers and replaced him with Juju. I think that's a downgrade. I don't think Juju is very good. I think he succeeds when everything around him is perfect. I don't think everything is going to be perfect around him in New England. But
he's a 3. is what he is. In a perfect world, he's like a number 3 wide receiver because he's playing off 2 studs.
Yeah, he's a 3, but they're paying him as a 1 right now. So like Juju and Devontae Parker and Nelson Aguilar out the slip.
They're not very, Marcelo, the one thing we have learned about New England is they're not very good at assessing wide receivers. That's a fact. Okay. Like that guy sucks at assessing wide receivers. I don't even know how he ended up with Welker and Moss. Seriously.
Yeah, I was about to say, Moss, I'm not giving him credit for Moss because they didn't scout him. They traded for him.
I know, but the fact that they even ended with Moss, I'm still surprised because just, one day they normally
Edelman. I'll give him Edelman.
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
He wasn't even a receiver, so like I'll give him Edelman.
Yeah, he was a converted
Walker because they didn't draft him. So like I'll give him Edelman and I'll give him Troy Brown from way back in the day.
And in 20-something years, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, they are really bad when it comes to wide receivers. So I am not surprised. All right. Give me 2 tight ends you like, 1 in the second, 1 in the third round for the Miami Dolphins. Who are they?
I think Shoemaker. I like the kid from Michigan. I think he's going to be. He's a third rounder. Still blossoming as a receiver. Don't let the numbers fool you in Michigan or at Michigan though. That's a super run heavy offense. If you put up 300-400 yards as a tight end in that offense, I think that's a good season for you. And then I'm still keeping the dream alive. I'm still keeping the Washington dream alive at 51, man. I think even if you got to move up a couple picks, if he's available, depending on the asking price, I think Darnell Washington would be worth it. He's not somebody who's going to come in right away and be your everything tight end, but it's a very hard position to transition from college to the NFL. Maybe the hardest hardest position in football. He can take his time developing as a receiver, but his blocking is going to transition right away. I think he is worth moving up for, particularly if Jahmyr Gibbs' dream, if that dream is dead. I haven't been pushing it as hard. Once upon a time, I pushed Travis Etienne real hard when he was coming out. I'm not that into this running back pick. I'm not that into grabbing Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think if Darnell Washington is available in the second round, that he is worth moving up for.
What would be the backup to Darnell Washington? Because I don't think he's going to make it to 51. But what would be the
Wait is my backup plan. It's Darnell Washington or wait. I think you can get tight, especially like I said, you can get Shoemaker in the second or third round or tackle. Yeah, go tackle, go BPA, to be honest, but I don't force feed. Don't force the tight end pick. Obviously, they need a tight end in the future. This is a good class to get one in, but it's not like, as I think I wrote this. I think I wrote this in the story that came out either yesterday or the day before. They don't have any positions where the guy needs to start right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have any positions where they need to draft somebody who is ready out the box to play instantly. And they could use a contributor at tight end. The idea is that Austin Jackson plays right tackle, but is he really not? Is a rookie really going to be better than Austin Jackson right now? I'm not confident in that. I can't say that, full-heartedly. So the idea is that he's still going to start. And then what other positions are we talking about? Even running back. Even if they take Gibbs, most of it's going to be the starting running back until Gibbs, gets his feet under him. So I think that's a wonderful position for them to be in, so that they don't have to force any pick for need. They can truly take a BPA approach and bring them on slowly.
Okay. All right. Are you expecting any moves with Cedric?
No, I think Cedric stays at least through OTAs and into training camp. I think they give him an opportunity to bounce back. It's interesting that when asked about him, Chris Greer last week said that he didn't bring up anything Ced did as a receiver. He said, he stepped up and volunteered as a returner. Obviously, they don't need him as a returner anymore. And Robbie Anderson is a much cheaper option who I think could be a little more dynamic than Cedric Wilson is. But Robbie's got to prove that his head is in the game. Robbie's got to prove that, he's put the struggles of the past 2 years behind him and that he's ready to come out to Miami and hoop, ready to come home and hoop. But there's going to be an opportunity for Robbie Anderson, Chosen Anderson. We're gonna have to ask him if he's okay with being called Robbie, because that's gonna slip out every now and then. But if Anderson is gonna have he's gonna have an opportunity to beat out said Wilson throughout the offseason. I think that position is up for grabs. They're only gonna keep what they keep last year, 5 receivers on the 53, 6 receivers on the 53. So if you think, the first 3 are locked. Craycraft I think is a lock. Not Craycraft. Ezukama I think is a lock. And so we're looking at Wilson, Craycraft, Barry. I said Barrios was in the top 3.
Okay.
So Wilson, Craycraft, Anderson, and then whoever they add in the offseason, and Braylon Sanders and whatnot. Like, they're battling for, I think there's a spot or 2 open past that. I don't think both of them make it. They kind of remind me of the same. They kind of remind me of the same build, the same type of receiver. I don't think that there's a world in which you can keep Anderson and Wilson, but I don't think there's a good trade partner for Wilson right now. I think teams know the Dolphins want to get rid of him, and they see what he wasn't able to do last year and the price, especially for what they're going to have to pay him in actual money. I don't think people are going to want to pay the capital to bring him on board. It's going to be difficult to find a partner.
By the way, if he doesn't like being called Robbie and he kind of gets all bent out of shape, then maybe he hasn't screwed his head on right.
I guess. But, I'm not going to – everybody's got their – everybody wants to be themselves. I'm willing to allow –
if he loses his mind with somebody – I'm not Robbie, I'm Chosen or something. Like, yo, dude, relax. Like, relax, bro. Relax. Take it easy. It's by the way, it's hard to take anybody serious that calls themselves Chosen. Just like Ocho Cinco or just like whatever. It's actually hard for the other person to take you seriously. So just to tell all these people that change their names to funky names, let's be honest now. All right.
Hey, look, again, people are eccentric. People are individuals and unique. If you want to be called Chosen, that's fine. As long as we can treat each other with mutual respect. I don't care if you want to call yourself God's gift. Like, I'm big on respect. I don't care what your name is.
No, I know, but it's just hard to take serious. By the way, how do you handle the dynamic of you got like 99.9% of fans. They want a new right tackle and a new left guard. You can't convince them anything of Eichenberg and Jackson. But then it's the same thing on the other side. You can't convince anybody in that building for the Miami Dolphins to not care and believe in Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg. So it's funny how both sides are entrenched in their beliefs.
Well, as somebody who thinks that Austin Jackson should get another shot to prove he's healthy, it's the last year of his rookie deal. I don't expect him to pick the 5th year up because all respect to him, he hasn't deserved. He hasn't earned it. It just hasn't been healthy. Hasn't put together consistent, strong play for a long enough period of time. But as Mina Kimes once told me when we were talking about the Tua debate a couple years ago, it's not Tua versus Herbert, Tua versus Burrow. It's not Austin Jackson versus Rashawn Slater or Tristan Wirfs. It's not that. It's Austin Jackson versus who is legitimately available. And when you look at their draft picks and who is available, again, I don't think it's likely that a rookie comes in and beats Austin Jackson out, who has been here for several years. He's been a starting caliber offensive lineman for multiple years. Low-end starter, but starting caliber offensive lineman for multiple years. And I don't think he was bad. He wasn't even the worst offensive lineman the year that he was getting all that shit in 2021. He wasn't the worst offensive lineman on this team. Jesse Davis was. And then Liam Eichenberg was. And then Austin Jackson was. He actually was decent once they kicked him into guard. I don't think we've been able to see him for a long enough time at right tackle to firmly say whether or not he can play. But he had a strong off-season camp. He had a good training camp. He just wasn't healthy, and he got hurt right away. And we just don't know. I think it's still an unknown. Like, this isn't Madden. As I see King say, you know, he's moved 3 times. Whose fault? Is that his fault? It's hard to. This isn't again. It's not Madden. You don't get to just say I'm a left guard now and be a left guard. You don't get to just move to right tackle after spending your entire life at left tackle and kicking a certain way and sliding a certain way and shifting your balance a certain way, and then just expect to get it against the best athletes pound for pound on the planet in defensive ends and edge rushers and linebackers. Like, this shit's hard. You need to do this for a long time. That's why I'd be more skeptical about Liam Eichenberg, because he's been a left guard for like 2 years now, and we're not seeing the same ceiling that we thought we saw when he was drafted. Like, I think that's a bigger concern than somebody who's not been allowed to plant roots at a new position yet. Let's hold judgment is all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to be all world. I'm not saying he's an all pro. He's a, max contract kind of tackle. Like, let him play. Let him try. Let him prove that he's healthy. And I think you're going to see, like, the guys who spend every single day around these people might know a little more than we do when we see them on game day. Or even we do when we see them on game day and at practice for a few minutes. Like, I tend to skew toward coaches in this scenario when they spend, day after day after day with these people and they say, yeah, I think, he's going to be good here.
What do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we get to catch up with Durham Smythe and Bradley Chubb, I believe, tomorrow. Chubb, really excited to talk to, see how rehab's going on his wrist, see how the chemistry building with Jalen Phillips has gone. I know he's hopped on Brandon Scarlett's podcast and show or internet show once or twice, and I think he's going to be fun to catch up with. And then, man, we got drafts. We got drafts coming. Obviously, everybody knows, biggest week of the offseason. I'm going to keep going over mocks, keep going over prospects, keep going over backup plans just to make sure I'm up to date on, whoever the Dolphins might take. I'm not traditionally one to obsess over prospects. My first year covering the league, I must have talked to like 60, 70 guys at the combine when I was there all week. And the Panthers didn't draft any of them. But I like having that database of knowledge. So this week's all about shoring that up. And then I'm actually hosting ESPN's post-draft show on Friday. So I'm going to touch up on the first round as well. Not that the Dolphins are probably going to even pick in the first round, but got to be ready just in case.
Just out of curiosity, did you really see anything in the Tom Brady comments from last week?
No, and I refuse to acknowledge them. I'm so happy my editor hasn't reached out. I got at this point, he's not playing this year. Y'all want a 43-year-old Tom Brady next year?
No, but here's my problem with people, and I get it. Look, bro, it's this off season. You got to create bullshit so you can create clicks and all that and whatever and get your name out. But he just said, "Oh man, well, I will say now that I'm not affiliated with any team anymore, and even though I have strong ties to a couple teams, I do have friends on the Dolphins that I really look. I wouldn't say I necessarily root for them all the time, but I root for my friends to do well, and several of them play for Miami. That's it. So what's the big deal?
It's not a big deal. Cool. He's got friends that play for the Dolphins. That's it.
At no point does that say I'm still interested in playing. And by the way, didn't he already have a sappy "I'm retired" thing on the beach? And didn't he have a? Didn't he follow up again? Didn't he follow up again with "I'm retired. I got my daughter, and we just adopted a kid. Do you know how much time it takes?" So is he supposed to repeat "I'm retired" every time you ask him? That also kind of becomes asinine too to somebody that's retired already. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
the guy's got like
that statement says that I'm interested in playing or I'm tied to anything or nothing at all. It just says he has friends of the team and he roots for them. Big freaking deal.
I like what Polly King here says. I got friends who work in construction, but do I want to join them? No. Like, respectfully. I got friends,
I get it, bro.
Nothing.
You got to fill some space. You got to do some bullshit. I get that, but it's the same thing I thought with Tua this past week. Okay, so then he's an idiot if he doesn't think about retirement, because he should retire because, everybody cares so much about him. He should retire. And then when he says, oh, yeah, no, I had a conversation with my family. Oh, no, he shouldn't talk about it. Well, what is it, bro? He should retire or he shouldn't talk about retirement? What the fuck is it? Please tell me. Where does the kid win? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's like, damn it, bro.
It is also April.
Right.
It's also April.
Yes.
It's also, this shit happens.
Yes.
Also, what's it called? The shirt. My bad. I see somebody say the shirt says, "Never talk to cops." That's what your lawyer is for. It's not never talk to cops. So don't screenshot and try to act like this doesn't say. This says something it's not. It's a perfect shirt to wear on to wear for this segment.
And never talk to the insurance company. Have your lawyers talk to your insurance company. Same thing.
Look,
Same thing, bro. Protect your rights.
That is what your lawyer is for. If anybody likes the shirt, the company is called Entry Level. My boy runs it. I knew him back. I think he's out in DC. Entry Level LLC. If you look it up on Instagram, they got a bunch of stuff like this. They got some funny like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos shirts as well. Like, just go check it out. It's
and if you
I wear their shirts on here all the time. But,
and if you need a lawyer, Welton Rail. Okay. Call Welton Realm. So if you got some issues, don't call the cops. Call Welton Realm. You got some flooding in Fort Lauderdale, don't call the insurance companies. You call Welton Realm. They will handle those idiots in the insurance companies for you. Right there. 954-966-4646. And Jeff and Dan are proud sponsors of this segment right here with Marcel Louis Jacques. Follow him on Twitter and Marcel_LJ. Marcel, thank you, my brother. We will catch up later. Appreciate it.
See y'all this week.
You got it. Marcel will return on Thursday in the afternoon when we're at Hialeah Park. Homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. You call my friends, Jeff and Dan at Welt and Realm. And for those of you, especially in Fort Lauderdale, dealing with all that flooding and all that damage, damn it, don't put up with the shit from the insurance companies. You call the people that are going to fight for you. You want a left tackle and a right tackle that are all pro? Jeff and Dan right now. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. Hey, somebody's asking me about the draft show. Unfortunately, it's not going to fly this year. I have not been able to get a home for the show. They don't have a first-round pick, so it's incredibly unsexy. Most of these bar owners, unless you know a bar that wants to host us for Thursday and Friday, then we'll go out there and we'll do it. But in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, by the way, okay? Nowhere else. But the fact that they don't have a first day pick, it's kind of changed the complexion of everything, the way these owners look at it. And so it's kind of tough, man. So unfortunately, on Thursday, this is what we're going to do. On Thursday, I'm not going to do a show, okay, at night. What I'm going to do is we're going to do some cut-ins, okay? If anything breaks, then Sean and I will do some cut-ins, and you'll get the videos. You'll get the notifications. Always hit the notification bell so you know when we go live or when we post a new video or when Sean goes live or if I go live with the crypto show or whatever, anything like that. So on Friday, we're just going to do cut-ins, okay? If anything happens or if there's anything kind of interesting or any kind of news I get or something. But to be quite honest, folks, there's no way I'm going to do 3 hours on Thursday morning or actually I'm usually on in the afternoon in Hialeah Park, and then I'm going to come back to do 4 more hours of what? There's no Dolphins going on. There's no Dolphin selections. I don't even know if there'll be a Dolphin selection. There's not supposed to be one. So I'm not doing 4 hours of just talking about other draft picks for other teams, because I don't give a shit about the other teams, to be quite honest. I follow it, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a lot of emotion for that first night, and we don't have a sponsor. So if we don't have a sponsor, there's no reason for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to have cut-ins on Thursday, and then Friday we'll go live. Okay? We'll go live from the studio, Sean and myself on Friday, but Thursday there'll be no show. It'll be cut-ins, if anything. Okay? I'll come to the studio, and if the Dolphins happen to trade up and they make a move, then we'll do it. If they happen to trade somebody or whatever, then we'll talk. If there's something that I'm hearing about that could affect the Dolphins, I will cut in and do some kind of a segment. So make sure you have the notification bell so you can get the latest that day. It won't be live, but they will be posted right away. And so that's what we'll do on Thursday. But Friday we'll do a live show. And we'll get that going. Okay, Friday we'll do our show from Craig's Inn, and then we'll come back in the evening and we'll do it because we've got 2 picks. And we'll go right up to the 84th pick. We're not going to go through the entire 3rd round either. Okay, we're going to go right up to the Dolphins pick, and then we'll wrap it up on Friday night. So that's what we'll do for that day, because obviously those are the picks. And that's it. We won't do anything on Saturday at all. I'm not doing anything for the 6th and 7th rounds. What I'll do again on Saturday, I will get information from around the NFL for the 6th and 7th rounders, and I will do cut-ins, and I'll give you recaps on the picks, what guys around the league like and don't like about the players that Miami picked, and we'll go over all of that. So you'll get a lot of draft content, but it won't be the same as it normally is. Next year, as long as we won't have, our owner screwing things up, we should be able to have a first day draft show because we'll have a pick or 2 of them. Who knows? You never know. So there you go. Okay. For a second, I thought I was a Better Call Saul shirt Marcel was wearing. Top to bottom, this draft looks weak, IMO. Mid-third on, it's not a good pool of talent. We'll see. You never know, brother. Depends on what you end up with, The Dolphins could end up with a 6th-round pick that's an absolute stud. It can happen. Drago says, I'll do the same, Big O. Watch who left for the Dolphins to the draft. No Dalvin Cook trade. I don't think so. AEW should do Goldberg versus Punk, the last stand. Aren't they like in 2 completely different weight classes?
Sir, it's pro wrestling, sir. There's no weight classes.
No weight classes?
No, but come on. That's for weaklings.
I know, but isn't he like way bigger than CM Punk?
I mean, if you want to look at aesthetics, yeah, but in the heart, it's all about the heart.
Okay, all right. You figure you might want to put guys that are kind of closer to their size. Damn,
it's all about who draws, and Goldberg and Punk would both draw.
Okay. I don't follow this shit, but hasn't Goldberg been like a complete disaster? No, it's not Goldberg that I'm thinking of. It's the other guy. It's the other guy, the big dude. In fact, I'm not even thinking of Goldberg, actually. I'm thinking of that other guy that's kind of he's a European dude. That he was a wrestler and then went to MMA and hasn't really been that good. What's his name, bro? That's who I was thinking Goldberg was. And he's a really big guy. And people thought, he would be an automatic for a stud in MMA, and he really hasn't been that impressive. What's his name, bro? It's like a Russian dude or something. Brock Lesnar. That's it. Is Lesnar he looks like a Russian dude.
Lesnar made it in UFC. He won the heavyweight title. He had diverticulitis. They removed half his intestines. That's why.
That's why he kept losing.
Well, no, but I mean, he couldn't eat. He had problems training, but I mean, he got knocked out a couple times. But he did win a world championship, though.
I know, but then he started losing a bunch, didn't he?
Well, yeah, because he couldn't train because he had diverticulitis. They cut half his intestine.
I didn't know that. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Now,
they cut.
again,
I didn't know they cut his nuts off.
With the Endeavor thing, I would not be surprised to see him come in again to UFC. By the way,
but they cut his nuts off. So why is he going to fight
his
again?
intestine, not his nuts. His
Oh
intestine.
no, his intestines. Oh
yes, they didn't neuter him.
Well, he fought like they neutered him.
Well, the problem is he's a fighter. He's not a. The people take him down and lock him in leg locks. You just have to. If he gets you in that first run to the cage and starts pounding you, you're done. If you can get through that first barrage, you'll probably beat him.
He's like the fat guy in the Bronx Tale that's crushing the biker against the bar. So if Lesnar comes out and crushes you right from the gate, he got you. But if you pin him down, it's over. Okay.
Yeah, if you lock him in a move, he can't get out. So, I mean, Frank Mir showed you that.
Anybody that remembers that Bronx Tale scene is probably laughing right now, comparing to Lesnar. Goes to show my wrestling knowledge and MMA knowledge.
And the fact that you said a guy from the farms of like North Dakota is Russian. Yeah, Brock Lesnar, the Russian guy. That's him.
He does look Russian, bro. He does look like he's a Ruski. He does it. That's it. That's the guy. I wasn't thinking Goldberg. I was thinking Lesnar in my mind, not Goldberg. That's funny. Oh, wow. I don't know shit about that. Anyway, Spooky Meyer says, we have a world-class wrestler and doctor in the chat. His name is Dr. Knight. Ah, Dr. Knight is in the house. All right. I like it. Lesnar would use his size in UFC, but he did have a little run. Big O, what's your thoughts on the Tank? Dude, he knocked him out with a body shot, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome. Gervonta I got to tell you, I was impressive, dude. I gave Garcia the nod in that fight, and Gervonta, that was and good sportsmanship after, right? That was cool to see too, right? That, you handle the winning and the losing the right way. Classy. That was good to see. I see a lot of that in UFC, which I always commend, that those people, man, they fight to the death practically. And then at the end, most of them usually show professionalism, and commend each other for the fight. So I respect that a lot in the octagon. That happens a lot with fighters. And I find that to be absolutely really, really, really cool. Let me see something here. Frankie Fresco, I did not get to your super chat earlier. I forgot because I think the interview came in. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Big O, before Sean says it, my car does not like Sean. What does that mean? My car does not like Sean.
His car is against fat people.
His car's why is it a small car?
No, it's a nice car. No, big wise. But what happens is you put the seatbelt on. As soon as you lean up, it locks. So
I see. You sit in and that's it, and it locks automatic.
Yeah, sudden movement because I'm fat. It locked, and I'm like, I can't be. I had to keep on doing the belt. It kept locking me up.
Oh, so you were claustrophobic?
No, but my fatness cannot be squeezed in by a seatbelt. There's too much fatness here.
Oh, I got you now. So you needed like an extension for that seatbelt.
That I don't know. He's got on very sensitive. As soon as you lean up, it's like, good, can't even move. With the grab a drink and I'm locked.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Frankie should have found a way to lock him and keep him locked. That would have been great. And then film it so we can then post it on social media that Sean is locked inside a car and he can't get out. That would be the best. Thank you for the love in the super chat, my man. Knight says Goldberg and Lesnar, both former NFL players. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Goldberg wasn't really an NFL player. He got, I believe it's a training camp he went to, right?
Oh, no, Lesnar was the training camp with the Vikings.
Right.
Goldberg made the Falcons as special teams, but he got hurt.
That's what it was, right? Lesnar was just a training camp invitee. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I knew one of them really.
I'm going to check with the Dolphins, see if I can get a training invite, and I can see I'm an NFL player.
Exactly. That's it. Lesnar went to camp with the Vikings, but did not make the team. Believe he tried out. Exactly, Storm. You got it right. Big O, Mike Tyson was the first to help people while they were falling after he knocked them out. You know, Mike Tyson is actually, you know, he tries to really be a good person. You know, I know he's had some stuff in the past and all, although to this day, okay, none of us will ever really know. So it's just an opinion. You could think one way, you can think another. I don't think he ever raped Desiree Washington. I don't believe it at all. I think he got railroaded completely in that thing. But that's my opinion, okay? Anybody else can have theirs and all that good stuff. But, yeah, Tyson is he's an interesting dude, man. He's an interesting dude. That what I thought for him was really bad was that that woman, what was her name? I thought that was that was kind of a poison in his life. What was her name? The one from Head of the Class, and fine girl, but she was kind of whacked out. I forgot the one that he married. She was very controlling and all that kind of stuff. I think she did some damage to his ass too. He was already kind of a damaged dude. And then I think she kind of added, Robin Givens. That's it, Akaris. Thank you. Yeah. But anyways, you know. And yes, he did Eyes Without a Face, Devin. I thought I answered that already. If he was 6'5", 250, built like a brick house, they'd say something. Ohio John says Tyson had a good group around him at the start of his career. Don King and Robin Givens was, yes, definitely. When Customato died, that was the beginning of the end for Mike Tyson. That's when that was it was rough waters for him from there on out. Funny enough, if Tua was 6'4", the concussion where he got whipped around would probably have been worse. There's a longer lever to build momentum from head slamming. Look, man, in the end, he's just got to do the right things, take care of himself, and get rid of the ball. And he does that, he'll have a super long career, and he'll kick some serious ass. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. By the way, Andy Behrens is set to join us at noon. Okay, so we'll have some fun with Andy. Do want to remind you, the great people at Sports Grill. We got the Heat game going on tonight. You got 8 awesome locations at Sports Grill. Did you know you could take your sauces home at Sports Grill? Yeah, baby. I love it, man. The buffalo sauce, the Miami Heat sauce on a night like tonight, the blackberry, the barbecue, the dale, and today is Monday, the $7 single smash burger. Get your butts on down there. Go to Sports Grill. Check out the 8 great locations out there. We've always got drink specials going on, all kinds of food specials, and that Doral location. It is massive, and it is beautiful. Great place to watch the Heat and the Bucks tonight. Sports Grill, baby. Enjoy it with friends and family. Pat in Nashville says, I still think about how Tyson made Galata quit during the fight late in Tyson's career. Monster. I agree. Frankie says, remember when Tyson took the bite from Holyfield? Classic, but no one ever talks about it. Well, we talk about it, but it's, it's so long ago already, it dies out. So it just becomes kind of a historical type of thing that we end up talking about. That's all. But people still talk about it. It's just you've got to be old enough to have lived it already, at this point. That's the thing. As you get older, those stories fall by the wayside with younger people. But earlier than that, that it's a different situation. But yeah, it's been screwed. Fox News and Tucker Carlson have parted ways. Oh, Lordy. It's a whole bunch of them. They're going to lose their jobs anyways with all the crap that they lied about. Anyway, what else do we have going on in the world? By the way, U2 has announced the dates. For those of you that are U2 fans, they have announced their dates in Las Vegas in the new Sphere. So that is very interesting. Just to kind of give you after initial announcement during the Super Bowl commercial in February, U2 has revealed the first of 5 dates of the highly anticipated residency at the new Las Vegas venue Sphere at the Venetian. The Irish rock legends will perform at the state-of-the-art new facility September 29 and 30, October 5th, October 7 and 8, and will feature material from their beloved 91 album, Achtung Baby. Tickets will be available through pre-registration with Ticketmaster's verified fan program through a separate U2 subscriber presale. For details, I will be clicking, of course. In addition, U2 is selling 50 VIP tickets for each show to benefit Bono's AIDS activism nonprofit. As previous reported, Dutch musician Bram van den Berg will fill in for drummer Larry Mullen Jr. for the Sphere shows while the latter recovers from surgery. The Sphere will reportedly offer 160,000 square feet of immersive video displays that wrap up behind the audience, coupled with a sphere of immersive sound and 4D technologies for a multi-sensory experience. The venue can host 20,000 standing fans or 17,500 seated guests and will have 23 VIP suites. Bottom line, U2 hasn't played live since December of 2019. We need to get back on stage and see the faces of our fans again. And what a unique stage they're building for us there in the desert. We're the right band, Achtung Baby, the right album, and the Sphere, the right venue for the live experience of music to the next level. That's what U2's been trying to do all along with our satellite stages and video installations, most memorable on the Zoo TV tour, which ended in Tokyo 30 years ago this fall. Last month, well, that's it. We don't need to get into Songs of Surrender and all that good stuff. So there you go. I will definitely be trying to go to, I'd like to go to 29 and 30 in September. Do you know why? My birthday's October 1st, man. So I would love to go to those 2 shows. And then the next day I'm in Vegas for my birthday, relaxing. Not that I ever give a shit about my birthday, but if I'm in Vegas after 2 U2 shows, that's the ultimate birthday present right there. So let's see if we can pull it off and get some tickets to U2 in Vegas. I'm not lying. I want to go as many times as I possibly can. Okay? I mean, if I had a way of getting a home in Vegas for a month or something just to stay out there for a bunch of dates, I would do it. Okay? Pat in Asheville says, got my fan club presale ticket request in, hoping to get floor GA tickets. Fingers crossed, U2 will play the entire Achtung Baby album. Yep. The last time I saw, the Achtung Baby tour, Bill, rest in peace. Love you, brother. Miss you immensely every freaking day. Bill and I, we went to the Lakeland Civic Center. That's where they opened up the Achtung Baby tour. Yeah, that was freaking cool. Okay? To open up that world tour at the Lakeland Civic Center. That's insane. Okay, and we got tickets for that tour. That was awesome. Awesome to see that tour there. Big O birthday jam, exactly. Big O, what do you think of Blink 182 at Coachella? It was really good from what I saw. I mean, I like Blink 182. I didn't see it, but I like Blink 182. I'm a fan. They're a fun band to listen to. John Dew, he is what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be John Dew. He's checking in from the Keys. When you live in the Keys, you are blessed. Chad says, could never forget O's birthday, same days as my wife's. Oh, really? October 1st. Very cool. Very cool. Blink 182 in Sunrise, July 7th, I believe, Frankie. I'm trying to ride. You know what? Maybe I'll go to that one. I like that. Let's see. Big O, like people think just because you have 2 concussions means your career is over. Like Rodgers didn't have 2 in 2 months, just like Tua. Whatever, bro. Sidney Crosby's got like 7 or 8 in his whole career, and he's working on a Hall of Fame career, and he's got a championship or 2, I think, right? Maybe 1 or 2. Not sure. But anyway, I know he's got at least 1. And so, it's just whatever. Like I said, the Tua thing is ridiculous. When he doesn't talk about retirement or anything like that, everybody's got him. Oh no, he should retire. Oh no, he should walk away. He's a father now. He's married. He should think about this. And then when he talks about retirement, oh no, yeah, I had that conversation. Oh, should he have talked about that? Oh, should they commit to him? Oh, this, that. The guy can't win for shit, dude. It's just ridiculous. It really is. I've never seen this with any other athlete ever. This two-way game that they play with him, they don't do it with anybody else. It's completely different rules for this dude compared to everybody else. But he's the only guy that's criticized for not thinking about retiring and wanting to play all the time, or being criticized because, oh yeah, he and his family had a conversation about retirement. I've never seen that. And he has a couple concussions, and no, his career has to be over. Plenty of other people continue. Jordan Reed had like 9 or 10 of them, and he kept playing. Teams kept signing him all over the league. No matter how many concussions, nobody gave a shit about Jordan Reed. Nobody mentions about Sidney Crosby in hockey. Hall of Fame player, championship, everything, and all 4 times the amount of concussions that Tua's had. Nobody mentions it. There's always a double standard with Tua. That is just, I've never seen it with any other player in my life. Never. It's just absolutely insanity the way this guy's covered. Unbelievable hate from the and fans. That's what it is. It's just unbelievable, and again, off season, we need to fill up space. It's just ridiculous. Big O, I like Barkov. I know he ain't scoring, but he is more than just scoring. All right. I know that a lot of you aren't necessarily in love with hockey or the Panthers, but let me get this shit off my chest already. Okay, let me talk about it. Frankie, you opened up the door. Let me shut it down. Is Jimmy Butler, do I need him all the time worried about setting a pick or assisting? Or do I need him like scoring badly and defending people. I do, right? I need him to do the heavy lifting, right? Alonzo Mourning, I need him to do the scoring. I need him to block shots. I need him to get a lot of rebounds, right? I need Wade to score a lot and to be clutch in the fourth quarter and to hit big shots and get a block every once in a while and all that kind of stuff, right? Marino, man, I need Marino to throw 3-4 touchdowns and throw for 300 yards, right? I need X to shut down people. I need Kachuk to score, to produce big time, right? When you sign a star to do the heavy lifting. I'm about to lose my fucking mind every time I hear somebody, including you, Frankie, that he does more than scoring. Because you know what I keep hearing? Oh, he's doing all the other little things. You're Alexander Barkov, my brother. I need you to do the big things and do them well and be dominant at doing the big things. Okay? I need the role players doing all the little things. Okay? Hey, man, Jimmy, you want to do some of the little things? That's icing on the cake. I need you to do the big things because if you don't score, we ain't winning. If you don't stop some of the best players on the other side of the court, we ain't winning. We got no shot. Like Bam. Oh, but he does all the little things. Well, that's why he's not a superstar. That's why he's not a stud. That's why he can't impose his offensive will on people. That's why he is not a franchise player. That's why I've called him a super role player now for a couple of years, because that's what he is. He's the guy that does all the little things. Brother, Jim Jensen was here to do all the little things. Udonis Haslem was here to do all the little things. James Posey's here to do all the little things. Bernie Parmalee's here to do all the little things. I got those players. I know who all those players are. They're all here to do those little things. I know who they are. And I appreciate every one of those guys for doing all the little things. Thank you, Keith Askins. We can't live without you, brother. I appreciate you. You're imperative to the success of any team because you do all the little things. But I don't want Tim Hardaway doing all the little things. No. I don't need Mark Clayton doing all the little things. I don't need that. No. I'm not worried about Jason Taylor doing all the little things. No, dude, I need you to get a sack in the fourth quarter on a drive where they're trying to tie the game or take the lead, and on 3rd and 7, you made them lose 10 more yards, and it's 4th and 17, and the sons of bitches have to punt because you're not doing the little things. You're doing the game-ending plays because you're Jason freaking Taylor. So the next time I hear somebody tell me that Barkov is doing all the little things, I'm going to absolutely blow up my TV. Okay? They don't pay Alexander Barkov to do the little things. They pay him to carry the effing team. And he disappears. So Barkov, for me, you know, please don't brag to me anymore about Alexander Barkov. When you start doing things that matter in moments that matter, then I know you're a superstar because that's what superstars do. Superstars come in the clutch. Superstars perform in moments that they're supposed to elevate everyone else. Where the fuck is Alexander Barkov? Look, I get it with Ekblad. His body can't hold up. His contract's been a waste for years now. He's been a waste of a player for years. He can't stay healthy. His body can't hold up. It's over. It's a terrible contract. It's been a terrible contract with Alexander, with Ekblad for a few years now. Okay? They're stuck with that deadbeat deal, just like Bob's deal is a fucking deadbeat deal. It's terrible. Two anchors that are holding this team down. But they went and got Kachuk, and you watched it all year long. That's an SOB. That's Alonzo Mourning. That's Tim Hardaway. That's Wade. That's LeBron. That's Bosch. That's Jason Taylor. That's Sam Madison. That's Pat Surtain. That's Tim Bowens. That's Zach Thomas. That's the Kachuk is one of those guys. And what I mean by one of those guys is all those guys I talked about, they weren't only great players, they were sons of bitches. They were mother effers. They would cut your heart out. Dwight Stevenson, nicest human being you'll meet in the world. Don't catch him on a football field because he's going to stick that hand and that cannon of an arm right in your chest and punch you and stop you right on your tracks. So I don't want to hear anymore that Alexander Barkov is also doing the little things. Oh, he's not scoring and he's not doing but he's doing the little things. They don't pay him to do the little things. The little things are icing on the cake after you've done the big things. Where are you, Barkov? Ekblad, I understand, dude. Your body is fragile. You can't hold up in this game. Most of us could never hold up in this game. Unfortunately, Aaron Ekblad is built like us. So he's screwed. You know, his body is soft. He breaks down like if I played hockey, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. But unfortunately, Aaron Ekblad is not built tough enough to last in that game. But I don't see an injury stopping Barkov from succeeding. At least I know what Ekblad's problem is. Where is Barkov's heart? Where is his desire? Where is his fire? And that's where him and Bam have a lot in common. They're really, really beautiful human beings. Both of them are as nice as they get. Too nice. They got no dog in them, bro. They got no SOB. They got nothing that pushes them to want to be the best person on the ice or the court at that moment. And that's the problem with Bam. Bam should feel like he's the best player on the court every single night and play like that, even if he's not. But if you feel that way and you play that way, it'll come out. You might not be the best that night, or you might, but I never see it. It's sad, bro. Sad. And if I'm, Viola and Sifu, I'm sitting there, I'm going, well, we may need to go get another son of a bitch and move this guy. That's how crazy it is. Just please don't tell me anymore that Alexander Barkov is also doing the little things. But he's just not scoring right now, but he's also doing the little things. What does that mean? That means you're not the guy. That's what that means. That any media member that's telling you that Alexander Barkov, he's not scoring right, but he's doing all the little things. That media member is afraid to just say, no, Barkov's a failure right now. He's choking like a dog. Can you imagine if I said, well, no, Sidney Crosby, he's not scoring right now, but, he's doing the little things. Penguins are losing, but, he's doing the little things. Right, no, because that's what you want Sidney Crosby to do, the little things. Kevin Durant isn't scoring right now, but he's doing the little things. He's setting some picks. an assist or two. Yeah, no, I know he's shot 5 of 32, but he's doing the little things. Like, seriously, bro, I feel like punching you in the face when you're telling me a superstar is doing the little things. Are you out of your mind? You don't sign superstars to do the little things. So Alexander Barkov, my brother, you're on every milk carton everywhere. They're paying you. Everyone says, which is true, you have top 20 talent in the NHL. Everyone in the NHL will say the same thing about you. But where the hell are you, bro? That's why they moved Huberdeau last year, because they needed it. I'm the one that said, get rid of Huberdeau, go get me a son of a bitch. They brought me one named Kachuk. I guess you may have to do it again. Hour number 3 is next. Andy Behrens, Yahoo Sports, joins us.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing a personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. While the NFL plans for the 2023 season, the Big O Radio Show keeps you informed by tracking everything from free agency, trades, draft, and all the news you can handle. It's the SportsGrill.com Dolphins and NFL Draft Report with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens.
Good morning, sir. Afternoon for us, morning for you still, obviously, because you're an hour behind, right? Or just one or two? What is it?
I am
right?
1 hour behind you. It is a pleasure to join you, by the way. I was listening to the last minute or so of the show before I came in, and I got to tell you, I got some fantasy baseball rosters that aren't winning right now, but Big O, they're doing all the little things. That's all you can ask.
Justin Fields. You know, he's not rushing for many yards, not scoring a lot of touchdowns, but he's doing all the little things.
Let me tell you, Juan Soto, he's hitting 198 for me right now, but all the little things. What a clubhouse guy.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's what they're saying. You know, do you follow hockey much at all?
I follow hockey periodically when the Blackhawks are good, and that hasn't been in a little while.
Okay, all right, but okay, Kane. well, he's not scoring any goals. He's not doing any, but he's doing all the little things.
Yeah.
That shit drives me crazy. Like, they're talking about Barkov down here, and the guy just does. He is a great talent. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy is sickly gifted. Okay. I mean, dude, very few people have his talents. I get that. But my man, in the playoffs, it's like, brother, you're MIA all the time. And this Kachuk guy he's been a monster the entire season, bro. I mean,
It's one of those sports where, and the NBA is the same way, perhaps to a greater extent, where one great player can have such an outsized impact, and you feel it the other direction when they're not doing what they're paid to do, right? And I couldn't agree with you more. Like, in certain sports with certain athletes, it's just not enough to do all the little things, because the big things win titles.
My role player is supposed to do the little things. I don't have a problem with my role players doing all the little things. Okay, that's fine. But my stars have to carry my team.
Big things, please.
Big things, exactly. Give me a freaking break, bro. Oh, he's doing all the little things. Get out of here. All right. The Dolphins, they will select 51 and 84 in the draft state. Of course, they have 197 and 238 in the 6th and 7th rounds. We don't give a shit about that one. But
51's a good player. 51's a good player.
51's a good. Well, and no, dude, think about this. What's it called? What's the name of our safety? Now that I'm brain farting, help me out there, Sean. Name our safety. It was a freaking Pro Bowler. What's his name?
Javon
Holland. So Holland, Robert Hunt. I know they didn't use him here, but Gesicki would have been a successful second rounder. Like, you think about it, they have a lot of success in the second round in their career here. So the second round pick, we're really looking forward to it at 51. And then at 84 is another pick. And you're the perfect dude to have this question for. Why? Because you're a freaking Bears fan. And there is no team over the last 6-7 years that has drafted and had more tight ends on their roster than the Chicago Bears. So you should be, well-versed with that position, since you've been talking tight ends I don't know, half your team a couple of years ago, I believe, had 40 tight ends on the team. I'm not sure, but it was pretty close to that. So I figured, you're probably prepped again because the Bears are going to take another tight end. It's kind of like Matt Millen, taking wide receivers. It's kind of the same thing there with the Bears. So I figured I'd ask you, Dolphins need a tight end, second or third round picks. Do you have two guys that you would say can catch and block like Mike McDaniel likes?
The other reason it's important to have me is that not only am I a Bears fan, I'm also an Iowa fan and an Iowa graduate. So literally half the league's tight ends went to my college, and I've watched them all for many years, right? Iowa is as close to tight end university as you can find. Yeah, I think particularly when we look at the pick at 51, there's going to be at least one really interesting tight end on the board. And I'm not sure which one it'll be, because we think that, Kincaid, we think that Meyer are going to be gone by the time you're picking in the second round. Two guys, though, that I think are particularly interesting. The first is the kid out of Georgia. I shouldn't call him a kid because he's a mountain. Darnell Washington. Yeah. I don't you read some of the scouting reports, and that people aren't even sold on him as a blocker, but it hardly matters because he is literally the size of a left tackle, listed 6'7", 270.
I think that's his strength, is blocking. That's his strength, actually.
He's not so the scouting reports will tell you that he's not even in terms of technique where he needs to be, but good luck. Again, he's a left tackle playing tight end. He's just an absolute house. And the other thing is you start looking at some of the advanced receiving metrics, even though he didn't have it wasn't a super busy season as a receiver necessarily, but yards per route run, yards after the catch, they all look really good. So a bit underutilized as a receiver, just a mountain. You start thinking about, now listen, I'm somebody who's a proponent of, and I think Mike McDaniel's probably a proponent of, just giving the ball to your best playmakers when you get inside the red zone. But when we start thinking about guys who are just prototypical red zone dominators, you're talking about a player with a huge catch radius. He's open even when he's not open because he's too big, right? Like he'll box out a linebacker, he'll box out a defensive back. Like good luck. I don't know what you do with 6'7" and 270. This is somebody who's like a little bit bigger than Jimmy Graham was. Pretty good athlete. So I really like Washington. I don't know if he hangs out until 50 because he's just as an athletic specimen, he's so impressive. And then the other guy is my guy, the Iowa kid, Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta he's going to pay a penalty in this draft for having been attached to a team with just terrible quarterback play and really unimaginative offense for the last couple of years. But you want to talk about somebody who just dominated in the short to intermediate area. And like Iowa only throws a couple of different routes to tight ends. He just sucked them all up and nobody could cover him. Great after the catch too. Like Sam Laporta's as good a receiver as you're going to find at this position and as good with the ball in his hands, I think, as you're going to find at this position. That the problem is, if it's a problem, he's certainly not Washington size, right? He's more of he's more of that traditional tight end, like 6'4", 250, 260. But just a really, really gifted receiving threat. I think he can. One nice thing when you get a tight end who comes out of like Stanford, Notre Dame, Iowa, sort of the tight end factories, Miami, they can generally do it all. Not all of them, obviously. We've produced a handful of receiving only tight ends and blocking only tight ends over the years, but Sam Laporta is coming into the league really well coached, and really well coached in the fundamentals of a difficult position. So I think Laporta is somebody interesting who's not going to fall, I would guess, much farther than 50. So this might be exactly the range where you can get somebody like that. And again, if Washington were to fall, I'd be super interested in him.
Okay. How about in the third round?
If we're talking tight ends, I doubt that Musgrave falls that far. I don't know what to do with Musgrave, the Oregon State.
You're not as in love, apparently, in the third round of anybody falling down there, huh?
No, well, I just don't think Laporta and Washington get there, and I'm kind of infatuated with those two. Like, I think those are guys who can deliver first round value at like a second round price. The South Dakota State kid is interesting, Tucker Kraft. But you also never know what to do with the guys who dominate at lower levels of competition against, non-Power 5 teams. But he obviously a very good player, looks like a prototypical NFL tight end. So I'm interested in him. I would be more interested though in Laporta and Washington. Those are kind of my two guys. Those have been like pet players for me. We just don't see a tight end with receiving skills at Washington size very often. So I'm just enamored.
I think he's a slightly bigger version of Ben Coates.
Well, that's a Hall of Famer you're describing, right? Like
if he polishes up because Ben Coates was a smooth tight end, like he could catch. But I like everything else about him, and so if he can become a nice pass catcher, I see him in that Ben Coates role because Ben was a big dude and he was a hard matchup for anybody, man, because he was so big and you could not get around him or you're not going to get on top of him because he was so long and tall. And so it made such a huge target for the quarterback. And Ben wasn't like a deer running down the sidelines. He had just decent speed. So this guy reminds me a lot of a raw like Ben Coates.
And Coates, of course, is also somebody, if he played today, the stats would be silly because we didn't even necessarily expect much in terms of receiving production from a tight end. Let me give you, courtesy of the great Scott Barrett, let me give you a list of things in which Washington led all tight ends in this draft class. Yards per target. Depth adjusted yards per target, yards per reception, missed tackles force per reception, yards after the catch per reception, explosive play rate. Like these are all the things that Washington led it. And we don't even talk about him as like a necessarily an adept receiver. But all of the advanced stuff, it just looks really good for Washington as a pass catcher. And there's little question that he's going to be able to block because again, he is the literal size of an NFL tackle.
Good stuff. All right. You expecting the Jets Packers trade to happen here in the next couple of days during the draft?
This is just the most annoying thing because it's already sucked up, so much oxygen and there's been so much analysis of it and it hasn't even happened. And then once it does happen, we're going to have to talk about it for a full day all over again. It's just another year where, for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers of all people dominates the draft news cycle for like a day. So I would expect it to happen. Rappaport has suggested that they're back to talking. They have to be close on compensation. It has to happen. The Jets have basically signed their way into a position where and they've talked their way into a position where they can't afford to not come away from this offseason without Aaron Rodgers. It like Rodgers himself seems like it's Jets or bust. So I'm relatively confident it's going to happen. I've been writing up player profiles for Lindy's pre-draft magazine, and I'm writing up player profiles as if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. Like it's going to be the least surprising news when it breaks. Absolutely has to happen sometime soon, though.
Let me ask you something, just out of curiosity, from an outsider's point of view, because to me, I've never seen anybody more, at least here in South Florida. I've seen other types of lightning rods in sports, like Tim Tebow was a lightning rod. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, different kinds of lightning rods. All kinds of players are different kinds, and Tua is a different kind of lightning rod. But did you find it interesting, or maybe you didn't even think about this, but people are criticizing Tua because he says he had that conversation with his family about retiring, even though if you listen to it, you could tell he had no plans on retiring. By the way, a guy that busts up both his ankles and says, hey, let's repair him with titanium rods. I don't think that's the kind of guy that quits. Okay. Just,
right.
Just say, you bust up your hip. No, I'll be ready in 9 months for Brockers to slam me for the Rams on the floor. Don't worry about it. I'll be ready for that. That doesn't sound like a guy to me that quits, but whatever, people want to make up. But here's the part that I love, okay? So now he's being criticized. Even Randy Mueller came out, well, I don't know how you commit to a long-term contract if he's talking about retirement. When if you really know the kid, he really didn't think about retirement. But here's the best part. So we're just a couple of months removed from everybody saying Tua should retire. So you had a whole bunch of people, oh, no, he's had a couple of concussions. He shouldn't play. He's a father now. He's a husband. He should retire. So we had everybody, not everybody, but a bunch of people wanting him to retire. So if he gets concussed, he's irresponsible if he doesn't retire. Or, well, how can you commit to somebody if he's talking about retirement? It's like, dude, he can't win with whatever comment he says. It doesn't matter. It's going to be spun negatively by folks.
Yeah, well, I think you really hit on the essence of the Tua situation right there, right? Like if you're there's always a little bit of ammunition until Tua plays a full season, 17 games, and it's a relatively even season without the massive highs and the massive lows. There are gonna be skeptics, right? He's probably got to check that box. He's probably got to check the 17 game or 16 game box. Short of that, like I don't know what you want in a young quarterback, and very different players, but I feel the same way about, as a Bears fan, about Justin Fields. I just really like first 3 years of your career. And I get it. Like things are different, and Patrick Mahomes is special, and Joe Burrow's special, and we've seen some great quarterbacks do special things at young ages. But really, first 2-3 years of your career, I just want to see evidence of like potential greatness. I want to see certain traits. They can be different for each quarterback, and I want to see potential to invest like the next 10 years of the trajectory of my franchise in you. I get it that there are still some negatives that Tua has to clear, and I think you can always find reasons to be critical. His family just would not have been good family members if they didn't talk to him about at least like somebody in the family must be worried about his long-term health, right? He had multiple concussions in rapid succession. I think we know enough about that injury now to know that, one concussion immediately on top of another concussion is puts you at some risk. It is a perfectly reasonable thing for his family to have been concerned about. And I'm with you. I've not heard Tua say anything or suggest anything that made me think, wow, he was personally really close to hanging it up. I haven't had that impression yet at all.
The guy that gets knocked out, the guy that gets wobbly in the Buffalo game and comes back in the second half to win it. Yeah, no, that's
Right.
a quitter right there. The guy that got hit in the Buffalo and then played 4 days later in the Bengals game, and he easily would have played in the Jets game or the playoff game if you let him. This is not. These people are wired like a policeman is every day, like a fireman is every day. They want to do their jobs, bro. They love their jobs, and they know what's at risk. They know.
Yeah, and again, it would be absolutely silly if his family didn't broach the subject with him, because we are now talking about a player with a multiple concussion history. It's dangerous. He's at risk, but if you saw his college career, you've seen any of him as a pro. It's pretty clear that he loves the game, and pretty clear that he's committed to it.
Victor Oladipo is at risk, and he kept playing, and unfortunately suffered another knee injury this weekend. Brother, they're not. It's easy for anybody else to say quit, and you don't live in that person's body, and you don't have their heart and their desire and their fire to do what they do, and that's it. That's the bottom line. And you can't live like that person because you don't think like that person. You don't have a passion. And obviously, we don't have the talents to do what they do.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty special thing. That's a pretty special drug, okay? To be able to do the things that most of us can't do. That's the kind of drug that you want to keep performing. You love that, the gladiators in the middle of the arena, everybody's praising them. That's the same thing that these guys feel. And when that is gone, they can never replace it. And, they know that, It's a different world that they live in. And I don't think people understand that. All right, what do you got going on Yahoo so folks can check you out?
We're going to have a lot of draft content this week and next week.
Oh.
I'm gonna have some rookie draft ranks coming up. We're gonna be spinning things as picks are made on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So just keep checking back with Yahoo Fantasy.
And your tight end rankings.
I'm never not ranking tight ends. Yes.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. Andy, appreciate you, bro. We'll catch up next week. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, brother.
You got it. There you go. Andy Behrens, our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
This has been the SportsGrill.com Dolphins and NFL Draft Report with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Cheer on your favorite South Florida sports team at SportsGrill.com. With 8 great locations, go to SportsGrill.com and find a slice of sports heaven.
All right. You know what? I saw that late Dougie Fresh. Let me do this. Let me do this a second. I'm going to send him that question that you sent in right now because he's already off. My apologies. But hold on. I'm going to send him the question right now and see if he answers it. Okay. All right. I sent it to him. Now let's see. Okay. What else do we have going on? Alter Bridge is touring with Seven Dust and Mammoth. And by the way, they are, let me see, are they coming to Florida? No date for Florida, man. That sucks. That sucks ass. And Alter Bridge is an Orlando based band. I thought that they would come to Florida. Oh, well, what can I tell you? Alter Bridge, Seven Dust, and Mammoth. That is a very good tour right there. That's a very good one. I like that. Bitcoin, by the way, still over 27,000, 27,300 area. That's where it's at. Can Washington fall to the 40s? It's possible. I don't know how he gets to 51 because he's so gifted that all you got to do is try to fine tune it. Because, worst case scenario, which doesn't become a worst case, you can convert him to tackle, and then you got yourself a bargain of a tackle at that point. But he can play tight end. There's no doubt in my mind. But let's say that's worst case scenario. But I think he'll play tight end and he'll get better. He'll excel. He's got a lot of gifts, man. Hopefully he goes somewhere where they can fine tune his game in the passing game, and hopefully he has a good quarterback, and that kind of sets him up also. What's it called? This gives him if he has that, then this gives him the opportunity to become a real star in this league. Here you go, Dougie Fresh. Yeah. I believe one of my books for young readers was recognized by the ALA Fast and the Furriest, he says. So Dougie Fresh says, note for Andy, I once worked as an academic librarian for a Tier 1 research university in Virginia. Are you the same Andy Behrens that won an ALA award in 2016? If so, wow. And so I sent Andy the question, and he says, yeah, I believe one of my books for young readers was recognized by the ALA Fast and the Furriest. So there you go. How about that? Nice job by you, Dougie Fresh. Very good. So there you go. Put one and one together. I shared an office with the sports and kinesology librarian, and his name came up. He won a big award for the American Librarian Association for a long sports video. There you go. All right. So Tua is going from being the 2022 number rated QB to being the 2023 number one rated QB. You damn right. That's what's going to end up happening. That's for sure. All right. So Marlins are 12-10. They're 8-3 in their last 11 games. They took 2 of 3 from Cleveland over the weekend. Tonight they start a set with the Braves. Edward Cabrera taking on Spencer Strider. That's pretty cool. Basketball, Knicks are leading the Cavs 3-1. Wednesday will be Game 5, NBA TV. Warriors and Kings are tied at 2-2. Game 5 on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Boston leading 3-1 against Atlanta's. They're going to suspend DeJounte Murray, right? I mean, that's not going to be a series. It's a miracle Atlanta won one as it is. Denver leads the T-Wolves 3-1. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock is Game 5. By the way, for Boston, tomorrow night is Game 5 at 7:30. Tonight, obviously, we've got the Heat tonight in action. And then we've also got at 10 o'clock tonight, the Clippers and the Suns. Phoenix is leading 3-1. Okay? No, I'm sorry. Grizzlies and Lakers tonight at 10 o'clock. Lakers leading 2-1. Tuesday night at 10 o'clock is Clippers and Suns. Phoenix is leading 3-1. So there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The Heat, they beat the Bucks 121-99. We should get Giannis back tonight. Even though Butler and Giannis are both questionable, you should expect Butler back. Oladipo is out. He tore up the patella tendon. That poor guy has just got terrible luck. Bam on a very impressive 12 points on 4 of 10 shooting. Jesus. Heat, by the way, shot 48% from three-point range. That's what's helped out. Duncan went 5 of 6 from three-point range, ended up with 20 points. So there you go. And the Heat have a great opportunity to win tonight, man. We'll see what happens. Bucks are favored by 5.5 tonight. Over and unders 217.5 at 7:30 is the tip. Bucks are minus 225 on the money line. The Heat are plus 190. So we shall find out what happens tonight. That is a lot of the stuff going on locally. Oh, what else do we have? Damn, that dude is dope. I mean, it's really impressive, Doug. Yes. Well, I mean, Andy's a smart guy, bro. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Good dude. Andy and Scott are really good people, man. We are blessed to have them here as part of our family. Do want to remind you about Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about William, Mike, all the great people out there at Cutter's Edge Pro, Hibeto. I mean, just great, great people. You will experience it yourself. And for us, it's been life-altering, to be quite honest. Yesterday, my wife, my daughter, myself, we had the music cranking in the backyard. We waited till the sun went down enough on the there where it wasn't nearly as hot. And it cooled down, and we went and started playing. We play a game called two par on the course, because I have a putting green in my backyard down the side of the house. It's about, I don't know, about 15 yards. I want to say something like that. So it's a nice little putting green, and we play one par, which you get one shot to try to make a hole in one. That one's kind of tough, okay, because it's a long putt. But we play a game called two par. The daughter won yesterday. She did great. And we have a blast, man, cranking up the music. And that's what's changed, man. And it inspires us to, want to be in the backyard more, relaxing, enjoying the fresh air. Dogs are running around, got the artificial turf going, and the dogs love the artificial turf. And it's also very easy to maintain. And all of the plants and trees are just growing beautifully, because Cutter's Edge Pro did a phenomenal job setting us up, folks. And let me tell you, tree trimming removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation, very important, folks. And the synthetic turf, if you own dogs, you will love it, because you're never bringing any dirt or mud in your house, you or your dogs. Super easy to maintain. And in the long run, you're going to save thousands. Why? Because over the next few years, you're not watering the lawn every day or a few times a week. You're not cutting the lawn every 10 days to 2 weeks, because in South Florida, it rains so damn much. 10 days in, you already got to cut your grass. It's already too long. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of money that you spend cutting grass. You never have to do that with the artificial turf. Plus, it looks phenomenal, and it drains quickly. That's the other thing. We've had all kinds of showers here in the last couple of months, and some really strong downpours. And, brother, this thing drains quickly. And the way they did it, they made it angled. So when it drains, it's draining towards all the trees and the plants and everything else. It's engineered the right way. It's situated the right way. It's designed absolutely perfect. And then it's installed to a T. And that's, as a customer, you're going to love it. I got all that artificial turf, and nothing is growing out of it or anything. They absolutely wiped out everything, killed everything. It's a beautiful thing. Check it out for yourself. Call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622. Let's see. I shared an office. Oh no, yeah, I got you there. What is it? Damn, that dude is dope. I still want the Eagles and Philly in the Super Bowl. Whoa. The Eagles and Philly in the Super Bowl. You want the Eagles and Philly in the Super Bowl. Oh, you followed up with Dolphins. Okay, there we go. Okay. Eagles, Dolphins would be nice. It doesn't matter who. They're all going down. They're all losing to the Dolphins. Pretty simple. Okay? Pretty simple. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, please. very important that you smash the hell out of the like button. Gets the algorithms going. So whenever you're watching the show or downloading it on the podcast, day, night, weekends, please make sure you smash it. Okay. And remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation too through Cash App or Venmo. That's a beautiful thing right there. Okay. So make sure you do that. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let me see if there's any. I don't think there's any kind of breaking news, anything going on that I've missed there, Sean. I don't see anything here. No. No, nothing really shocking. Still investigating the DeJounte Murray bump of the referee. I can't see how they don't suspend him. It doesn't matter. That series is over anyways. So, how about the jockey that died in Australia falling off the horse? Oof. Do want to remind you also, for those of you that are losing your hair, redrecover.com, they've got the hats in. They finally got the new hats in. This was already approved by the FDA, but the FDA, once they changed the hat, right, they needed to get approval again because they used a different hat. And so they were more happy with the Velcro in the back for this one and all that kind of stuff. So it's adjustable. So check it out. Go to redrecover.com. You won't see it on the website. You have to email them and contact us and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you at redrecover.com. And they've also got the wraps for the dogs, big dogs, small dogs. They've got a deal now with Chewy. Okay, the wraps are on Chewy.com because it has become a real success. I mean, red light therapy, I don't know how many of you were able to get the human wraps for your knees or shoulders or arms or whatever, and you know what I'm talking about. It does give you relief, and it does improve, and it helps you recover from workouts and all those things. Well, you go to redrecover.com, you can get the hat, you can get also the wraps for small dogs or for big dogs. You know how they have hip issues, and you're going to notice how your dog is going to live a completely different life by using those Red Recover wraps. Check it out for yourself. Go to redrecover.com, check out the video blogs, all of that. And then, of course, use our code Big O. They will take care of you there at redrecover.com. What's on everybody's menu for the draft? Let's see. My two favorites, Eagles and Dolphins as GP Trap. All right. We shall see. We shall see if it ends up happening. Let me see what Ryan McGuire, my guy Ryan McGuire joined Westwood One. All right, there you go. All right, good for him. Left the great people at Good Karma. All right, moving on. So it's a rough business, brother. Rough business. Heat in 6. If they win tonight, got to feel really good. If Giannis comes back and leads them to a victory and it's 2-2, then you can't feel nearly as good, you know? That's where it kind of gets crazy. I see that Disney's and ABC and ESPN, whatever, they're releasing, man, they're going to release thousands of people. That's crazy. Don Lemon fired from CNN. What? Carlson and Don Lemon fired today. It's a good day. Can you fire Fox and CNN completely? Can you just eliminate both channels? Did you see, by the way, did you see Barkley's doing his own show with Gail King? I don't know how their show will be. I have no idea or whatever. But he had one line that is so true, and I try to tell you guys this all the time, right? Because some of you get all butthurt because you choose sides, and that's the sad part. And he says, we don't want to say we're liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat. That's the one thing that's already ruined television in general. Charles Barkley on his newly announced CNN show with Gayle King. So, which is so true. That's all Democrats and Republicans do is divide. And that is, God, we're all going to be so much better when we leave this party shit and you guys stop being Democrats and Republicans and start being Americans. And let's do what's good for everybody, not for some kind of interest or one party or one whatever group of a party, that kind of stuff. I doubt it. I don't even know what there'll be, but it is a line that is so truth because all that stuff just divides us. What a shame. Anyway, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Will it get rid of my bald spot? GP Trap, if you just started losing your hair, okay, you have a chance. You have a chance to save it. Now, if it's been dead for a long, long time, it's unlikely to save it. I'm not going to say that it's impossible because anything is possible with red light therapy. Anything is possible genetically because we don't know how, your body and my body are going to it's kind of like COVID, right? One person can get COVID and it's like a cold. Another person can get COVID and they're in a hospital. Another person gets COVID and they lose their taste for 6 months or a year. We don't know how it affects each other, right? And the same thing here with the red light therapy. It might help one person more than another. It might not help one person at all. It might make an enormous difference with somebody else. You know what I mean? So that's what it's up to you, GP Trap. If it's happening now, then I think you got a shot at saving it. If it's been gone for a long time, it's a very slim shot. Unlikely, but I'm not going to say it's impossible because anything is possible because even here where it's been dead for a long time, little hairs are coming out every once in a while. It's not really filling in at all, but not like here. Here it's filling in. Here it's filling in nicely. Here it's not filling in nicely, but a couple of hairs are coming out. So I'm just not telling you that it's impossible. It could happen. You just never know. So there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. GP Trap says I'm screwed then. Oh, wow. So Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson fired. That is beautiful, dude. Man. That is awesome. It's pretty good. 2 douchebags fired. That is pretty good. Did Fox and CNN make a trade? Garbage for garbage? I don't know. I doubt it. The best thing that would be is that Fox and CNN absolutely disappear. That would actually be the best, but we're not going to be that lucky, unfortunately. Anyway, we thank Ira Winderman, we thank Andy Behrens, and we thank Marcel Louis Jacques. They'll join what's it called? I'm sorry, Alan Poupart normally joins us on Monday. He will be with us tomorrow. Okay. By the way, JST News Nation, you are correct. They are better than Fox and CNN by millions of miles. Okay. They still have a little bit of slant one way or the other. But what I like about News Nation is they do play both sides. And they'll go after both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like I have this fraud that follows me, Hateful Steve, right? Is it Hateful Steve? Is that the name? Is it Hateful Steve? I think it is. I'm correct? Yeah, Hateful Steve. And all he does is whine about Democrats, right? Because he's lost with his Republicans. So, yes, it's the same thing. It's just like watching a Democrat that all he does, he or she complains about Republicans. Like, don't you ever look in the mirror and look at Be objective about your own. And, you know, those of you that can't be, it's just sad. It's just sad that you're stuck on your sides. But News Nation, I'll give them credit. They do a much better job than CNN and Fox. My God. Yes. 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 I will give you that, Karen. No doubt about it. Let's see. That's right, GP Trap. We are out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.